Apparently, guys, I muted myself. So, hello, this is Katie with Vintage and Vinyl, back with another great video for you today. And I am doing a late night chat. Now, I did label this fireside chat, and boy, do I wish I had a fire going right now. Unfortunately, I live in an apartment, so no fires for me other than the pretend Netflix ones you can stream to your TV. But I have a gorgeous aluminum Christmas tree in the background that I got from Misty over at Thrifter Junker Vintage Hunter, and Cheryl Hoskins was so kind to give it up so that I could have it. And boy, I am enjoying its magic. I am definitely going to keep it up way past Christmas. I am one person that hates taking down Christmas because it's sad to me. So I just figured this year has been a hell of a year, so we might as well just enjoy the Christmas all the way up to probably February. Who knows when I'll get around to taking it down. Hi, Diane. Welcome to the chat. And Justin is here. I'm glad you can hear me. Yes, I had it on mute. I'm such a dodo bird, just talking away. And then I looked down and I noticed a big X over the microphone. And I thought, oh my goodness, what have I done? Hi, Kelly. Welcome to the chat. I'm so glad you're here. And hello, Rebecca. Welcome. And Tammy is here. Yes, I know it's a little bit late. Yes, I love Medea. I'm a big Medea fan, so I think that reference is really funny. I love all of the Medea movies. You could do red hearts all over the tree. Yeah, it would be really fun, Justin, to change the tree for different holidays. And I might have to do that. It would be fun to do like a Valentine's Day one, or maybe one with chickens, chicks, and hens or whatever for Easter. Put little Easter eggs in the tree. Who knows? It's just really such magic, and I'm enjoying it so much. Katie, you are like the ultimate fashionista. Oh, thank you, Kelly. Well, today it's been pretty cold outside. It's been about 40 degrees here, which is extremely rare for Florida, so I'm enjoying every minute of it I can. And so today I have my vest on. This I got a few birthdays ago from my mom, and I've got my wreath pin on the vest. This has green and it's hard to see, but green and red in the wreath. Really neat. I think it's a little handmade piece, but I got it in the antique store. And then I'm wearing one of my favorite red plaid shirts because I live in plaid and I love plaid. Oh, hi, my friend Chastity's in the chat. Love you too, best friend. Good evening. I'm glad you're here. Shamrocks, yes, perfect for St. Patty's Day. That would be fun. And Joanne, I'm still putting up a tree, so I will keep it up a while too. Yeah, why not? You know, we might as well just enjoy having the magic of the Christmas tree up or Christmas decorations all year round. Why not? You know, and no one's coming in your house really because of the pandemic. So, you know, you might as well just enjoy it. It's 20 degrees here and I have a fan on. Yeah, Angela, I think Angela was talking about how she gets hot, and I get hot too. I get overly hot. So I keep things pretty cold here. Actually, my apartment, even though it's like 40 outside, is still 68 because I need things to be nice and chilly. Hi, Jen Bootsy. Welcome to the chat. And Melissa is here. Hello again. And Bren, I Heart Old Things, is here. Hello, Bren. Tammy says it's 28 degrees here, and I'm sitting with a space heater and my blankie. Oh, yeah, a lot of people like to get all warm and cozy under a blankie. Hi, Fancy Panda. Fancy Panda, I meant to tell you this. I think you were on my chat yesterday. I love your name. It is so fun. I first heard your name on Jeffrey's sale, and when Barb said, oh, Fancy Panda won this item, it just made me smile. So I love your name. Oh, it's 14 degrees out right now. Wow, now that's cold. That is pretty cold. I've got a warm blanket on the couch right now, and Louie's snuggled up in it, and she's trying to put her head on that little pillow. Oh, I wish you could see her, guys. She's adorable. She's all curled up and snuggly. Yes, hello to everyone in the chat that I'm missing. And Chastity, I want to steal your best friend, Angela says. Well, there's enough of me to go around, like Nate says. Nate in the chat always says there's enough of the Nate experience to go around. Let's see. Oh, and hello, Ace. Welcome to the chat. So friend fight, LOL. Hi, Tia Fane. Well, this is a surprise. Yes, hello. And CCC is here. Triple C, hello, welcome. So speaking of surprises, I have a big surprise for you all. And I just thought about doing this a couple days ago, and I've been thinking about it, and I decided, well, let's do it. So what I'm going to be doing every night until the big New Year's Eve extravaganza with Michelle at Comfy Cozy Living is I will be going live every night this week having a chat with you all. Now, I don't know the times yet because I don't want to infringe on anyone else's sales or events because that's probably something that I want to tune into too. So I will be keeping you updated every day on Instagram. And of course, on YouTube, I will make sure to pre-schedule the chat so you guys will know. You'll get the notifications when I'm going live. So every day up until New Year's Eve, I will be going live on my YouTube channel to chat with all of you. So that will be fun. Thank you, Angela, for putting it on the schedule. I so appreciate that. And I'm missing some chat here. Kelly says, I'm at the beach. I'm a beach bum. I can't stand cold weather. When Mark and I retire, it will definitely be to the Philippines. Mom, on the other hand, has the air on. That's why I'm like an Eskimo at her sales. You know, Kelly, my dad, he keeps the house super cold. He's like me. He likes that. And when my mom comes to visit my house, she gets just frigid at my house. And so she's always got blankets and a sweatshirt on because it's just too cold, even in the summer. So everybody has a different body temperature, I think. And Melissa's saying in January, it can go down to minus 40. Holy cow. Melissa, you're in Canada, right? I don't know where in Canada you said you were, but Canada, I hear, gets very, very cold. Rebecca Higgins says that we're having Nate withdrawals. Yes, I know. I miss Nate. I'm sure Nate's been busy, and I know that he hadn't been feeling very well, so we'll keep Nate in our thoughts and our prayers. But I definitely miss Nate in the chats. Yes, well, I figured it would be a fun way to ring in the new year. Now, I was planning on doing something with a very catchy title, and it's hard when your name is Vintage and Vinyl. That's nice because it has a nice ring to it. But to come up with some sort of like, you know, the New Year's Eve extravaganza is such a fun title. So I'm still trying to think about something that would be catchy, like, you know, 4 days of something. You guys can put in your suggestions in the chat. But I haven't come up with a catchy title yet for it. But I think it would just be fun to go live every night with you all. I will be having my regular content, but I figured this would be fun as well. Kelly says, Bren, honey, to me, hotter the better. It's like 30 degrees here in Bama and it's too cold. Well, Kelly, you need to come down to Florida because it gets, you know, 80 or 90 degrees here most days. Oh, you're in Ottawa on Canada. That's neat. That's really neat, Melissa. I've been, where did I go? I've been to Canada once, and we went on a cruise for my grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary, and we went to Alaska, and then we went up to Canada for the day. And my mind, just because it's late, cannot think of the city we visited. Was it Victoria? I think it was Victoria, but it was just wonderful. I so enjoyed it. I'd love to go back. Spinning down the new year with Vintage and Vinyl. Now that's pretty catchy, Angela. I like that. That is a very good suggestion. Yeah, it has a nice ring to it. I think I might have to go back and retitle this chat something like that. Maybe that will be a good catchy thing. I don't have really any more friend mail to show just yet. Now, there is some friend mail waiting for me in the front office, but they're holding it hostage in a sense, because the office has shut down due to COVID. We've had some high numbers of COVID cases in our area, and so they've shut down the office. So they're not allowing anybody to come in. And we've had such an overdose of packages lately in our building because of Christmas that I think they've had to take an overflow of them into the office because the area where most of our packages go was just bonkers the other day when I went down there. I mean, you couldn't even walk through the area. There were so many packages. Yes, that's right. Victoria, British Columbia. Exactly, Melissa. I believe that's where I was. Here in Vegas, I get cold when it drops below 70. A lot of people here, it's funny in Florida to watch people, bundle up when it gets anywhere below like 70 degrees. People wear these big coats and they put on, socks, and they've got, these boots on, and it's like they're freezing outside. But then you have the people like my brother who loves the cold, and so he goes out in shorts and flip-flops in like 40-degree weather and is totally fine with it. So everybody is definitely in a different temperature configuration, what they like and what they don't like. Yes, let's spin in 2021. We could do a request line. Kelly, I would love that. I got a comment today on one of my videos from just a wonderful, wonderful person that we all know and love, Ricky Donald. She's just the best. And she commented that it would be fun to do a 10-second music clip and then have people try to guess the music clip. And I think if it's 10 seconds or under, I can do that without copyright issues. So if that's the case, I would love to do something like that. And we could have like a spin in 2021 and have little clips of songs, and then you guys could try to guess it. I think that would be just so much fun. So I got to think if that's possible. Just do a little bit more research, but I think it is. I think if you have legally under 10 seconds of a song, they cannot get you for copyright. So that's fun. Oh, thank you, Angela. Yes, I am hoping to get to 1,000 subs at some point, but I have to say I'm very honored with the subscriber count I have now. You guys have been so awesome subscribing and sharing and mentioning me in the chats. I just am so appreciative of that, and it's been really fun meeting you all this year. I tell you, with all the things going on with COVID and all, I have been in my house now since January, and it has just been a great relief to have friends to see every day. Even though we're not really seeing each other, we can see each other virtually, and it's fun to have chats with people every day and to feel connected. I've never felt this whole pandemic like I'm alone, because I have all of these fantastic people here in the vintage and vinyl community, you all that watch my channel and other people I've gotten to know through the chats, and it's just been absolutely lovely. So I love that. I live near Detroit, and there's tractor trailers filled of packages still to be delivered because the processing centers is full. Justin, I heard about that, and actually my grandparents' caretaker drove by the Amazon fulfillment center. I think we have 2 of them, and she said that the packages, the trucks were just sitting out there full of packages because of that same thing. So even Amazon apparently was behind, which is crazy. Yes, spinning into 2021. Yeah, I think that's fun. So I'm going to have to maybe use that. I think that's a great line. So we'll do spinning into 2021 chats. I think will be great. We'll have that every night this week for you guys. That's my temp. It could be 80 year round and I'm good. Well, Kelly, I would trade places with you. You can have the Florida weather, and I'll take your Alabama weather. Oh, yes. Music trivia. Yeah, Kelly, I have heard that you are excellent at music trivia. So it would be really fun to do something like that. They said we could be in the new roaring 20s next year because after the Spanish flu in 1918, the economy exploded. Well, very possible. I remember sitting on my porch when 2020 came in. I had just watched the ball drop on TV, which is something I have to do every year. I love the ball drop. I love watching anything that's broadcasted from New York, and that's one of my favorite cities in the U.S. So, of course, I always watch the ball, and I was sitting out on my patio. The ball drop had just finished, and there were people outside putting up some fantastic fireworks in our neighborhood. Now, they were a little loud and it was a little late, admittedly, and I'm sure most of my neighbors were probably ready to go to bed, but I have to say, getting a nice fireworks show from the comfort of your home was pretty nice. So I was out there watching, and I thought, 2020, wow, this is going to be a fun year. And then, nope, everything immediately changed. But I tell you, it has been good. And a lot of people have mentioned this in the chats, is even though this year has been so terrible for a lot of people, the best thing is we have built up this wonderful community of vintage and vinyl folks. We've gotten to know people, not just on my channel, but many other channels, whether you're coming from the vinyl community or the vintage community. And it's really, really been fun. And so that is the best part of 2020. I think for me, it was getting to start my channel and to meet all of you. Hello, Sue. Welcome to the chat. I'm so glad you're here. And Tiger Purple is here. I love your little kitty cat in the picture there, Tiger. Yes, I'm up late. I'm a bit of a night owl. Katie, you are the most interesting person I know. Oh, thank you, Belinda. Well, it's so great getting to know you in the chat. And I see Debbie from Chicago is here. And what am I missing? I love Katie. I could listen to her all day and all night. Oh, Kelly, thank you very much. I had no idea so many people would be up at this time of night, but it is fun chatting with all of you. Downloaded that Kavana app today, and you're obsessed. Angela, you're going to have to tell me about that. Hit me with the 60s through 80s music, and I'm doing fine. Well, I love 50s and 60s music, and I thought, well, I know a lot of people may not know as many 50s tunes, so I have to do a mix. So I think if I do it, I'll do a mix. I'll do like 50s through 90s. How does that sound? Because I know a lot of people might know a whole bunch of that music in that range. We could get Katie there quick if, well, I know a lot of people are doing their best to subscribe to everybody. I tell you, there's so many channels these days that it just becomes hard to keep track of everybody. But thank you, Angela. And people have been putting out a calendar and doing all that work so we can all stay connected and figure out when the sales are. Yes, not to boast, but for real, if we could get me on a song trivia game, I promise I would make enough for us all to retire to our preferred destination. Kelly, I've heard that you are super good at that. So it's probably possible that you would probably win all the points if we did something like that. Oh, yes. Oh, his name is Bismarck. Oh, I love that. What a cute name for a cat. My brother got a cat at the beginning of the pandemic, and he's a rescue cat, and his name is Clyde. And I asked my brother, I said, well, why did you name him Clyde? And he said, I don't know. I just always wanted a cat named Clyde. So I think it's fun to say that my brother has a cat whose name is Clyde. Clyde the cat. He is a sweetie, I'll tell you that much. He is just adorable. There, I went and took care of him for a little while when my brother went out of town. And he likes to dip his paw in water. I've never seen a cat do this, but it's hilarious. You set out a glass of ice water, and Clyde the cat dips his paw in the ice water and then licks his paw and then starts licking the side of the glass. It is hysterical. I'll have to put a glass on, I have to put a video of the glass and Clyde on Instagram. Oh, Angela. Misty is thrifter. Angela. Wow. I'm reading two comments at once. Kelly. Misty is thrifter, junker, vintage hunter. If you don't know her, she is fabulous. She's the one that sold me the aluminum tree. She is just amazing. She finds some great stuff. Jeffrey is also awesome, and he is at Real Nifty Vintage. His live sales are a hoot. If you have not watched him, he is hysterical. He's just so funny off the cuff, and he has great items as well. And Thrift U is Sam and Sarah, and they are also fantastic. And they have a sale coming up on Sunday. Now, Thrift U just sort of says around 7-ish. So just around-ish, they will be having a sale. So lots of great things. And Misty at Thrifter, Junker, Vintage Hunter is having the Recelebration, I believe, this week, which is exciting. So she'll be having that 4-seller 1 sale again with Michael Todd, the Cult of Vintage, the maker of those fabulous Christmas wreaths, and Alex from Chapter 2 Vintage Co., which she has an amazing channel as well. So go check her out. And then also from Michelle at Comfy Cozy Living. Michelle is the queen of the 5-hour live sales. And she also has this fun New Year's Eve extravaganza coming up, which I will be part of, and I'm very excited about that. So all of those channels are really great. And I have on my channel, you can go and see what I recommend, or the subscriptions, and you can find those channels there. I just found a new solitaire app called Addiction. One is already easy enough to be fun, but hard enough to be challenging. CCC, I love solitaire, and my grandmother, when she couldn't sleep, she would always play solitaire with a deck of cards. She'd get out a deck of cards from her bedside table and spread them out and play until she fell asleep. And I've done that my whole life. I think solitaire is really fun, and I do have an app on my phone that I have solitaire and I have crosswords, because my dad and I always did crossword puzzles together. Yes, that is the only good thing about 2020, starting my Facebook or FT reseller business and meeting all of you and getting a second family. Yes, Melissa, that's exactly how I feel. And the chat likes to jump a lot. So I'm trying to get to everybody's comments. My cat's name is Dexter, after the serial killer. My brother loves the show Dexter. I have not watched much of it, but he really likes it. We got 2 new kittens in the spring. CCC, that's fun. Kittens are great. Yeah, I think Clyde is a great name for a cat. I really do. Kelly, Misty's channel, yes, is Thrifter, Junker, Vintage Hunter. Do you think, Katie, you could check with that helps George, might be able to advise you, etc.? I check with George on, what am I checking with George? Oh, the music. Yes, I know what you mean. So George, the Antique Nomad, which also, if you're not following him, go follow him. He's amazing. He knows pretty much everything about anything. He's just great. And Xenomorph is his tech guru. And Xenomorph does this really cool late night chat thing. They've had one, I think, every Friday after Flippin' and Sippin' with Fatbird Finds. And it is so fun. It's just music. And then they have the chat, so anyone can say anything they want. And then afterwards, the chat disappears. So you can only see it while it's there. You can't watch it later. But he puts some great music on, and each chat is sort of a theme with certain music. So they did like acid jazz was one of them. And then last night they had one with Christmas music, and they've had 50s, and then they had 70s rock. And it's just really fun to be a part of. And last night it was neat because George was coming in and out doing little live segments in the middle of it, which was just so fun to see. He showed some beautiful ornaments and a pop-up vinyl, which I had never seen before, but it was so cool. He opened the vinyl and there's this whole pop-up scene on the inside. So Zeno might be the person to ask about if I could do some sort of music clips, because he puts the music to the chat, so he probably would know. Clyde, okay, so my mom's crazy, bought a iguana when I was a kid. Our cat was named Bonnie, so we named the iguana Clyde. Now, if you know us, y'all can imagine, Kelly. That's fun. Yeah, that's hilarious. Oh my goodness, Bonnie and Clyde. What a duo. I did not have an iguana, but my friend had an iguana once, and they were so interesting. We went and bought crickets for it. I think it ate crickets. And I remember taking her to a bait shop once so she could get crickets for the iguana. Jeffrey is coming to visit Misty this week in Bedford, Indiana. Oh, that's going to be so fun. Misty is great. I love Misty. Look out, Bedford, Misty, and Jeffrey, right? Taking the world by storm. Oh my gosh, that's going to be so fun. And the chat is jumping again. I try to get to everybody's comments, but it's hard when the chat moves fast. I got an awesome uranium fairy lamp that is red top and crystal clear on the bottom. Both glow yellow from Thrift Use. So excited. Oh my gosh, that's cool, CCC. I got a blow mold from Thrift U, and I'm waiting for my Santa blow mold. I've never had a blow mold, and I saw them a couple of years ago. I had never really been familiar with them until I saw them featured on Christmas Light Fight. And there was a guy that had probably over 1,000 Christmas blow molds all made by Empire and the company that I bought, and I can't remember the name of it at the moment, but I'd actually heard of it before. And he was showing them all off, and he goes to all these places and auctions and whatnot and gets them and sets them up in their front yard and does this huge like Christmas extravaganza display. You can probably Google like Christmas blow molds, Christmas light fight, which is a really fun show that airs on ABC, and they show all these incredible lights in the neighborhood, and then one neighborhood wins like 100, or the person I think wins $100,000, but a lot of the neighborhoods go like all out, and it's just really fun to see. Solitaire always makes me think of that Janice Ian song. Yeah, I think a lot of people think that way. Oh, full time. Yes, I am not the best with shorthand. I feel kind of funny because I grew up in the 90s, and in the 90s we used a lot of those, like LOL's been around longer than that, but I remember when a lot of that lingo started coming out in chat rooms. So we had, and what was the one that we used? Instant Messenger. Does anyone remember Instant Messenger? We had Instant Messenger, and that's how we communicated online. I didn't have a cell phone. We had a landline, and then we would communicate on Instant Messenger after school. That's how all of my friends and I would talk, and we would do the shorthand. Well, now there's so much of it coming out, or acronyms, however you would say the right word is for that I sometimes have to look things up on Google, and I feel like I'm in the generation that should know. And I don't. So sometimes I have to Google, like, what does that mean? And someone posted in the chat, WYD once. And I was like, WYD, what is that? So I'm Googling it. And the chat was, what it stands for is what you doing. I'm like, wow, I'm such an idiot. I should have guessed that. I am not good at those kinds of things. Christy, hi, Katie and everyone. I got you on TV, been watching. Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you, Christy. And I hope you're feeling better. I will be definitely keeping you in my prayers. I know that being dizzy is awful because I experienced some of that. I have autonomic issues, and some days I've been really dizzy myself and I can't do much. So I know how that is. It's really horrible, Christy. So I'm thinking about you. Jen says, my favorite crosswords are books from the Dollar Tree. They are challenging, but not too difficult. Jen, me too. I go get the books from the Dollar Tree because they're easy enough, but they're not super hard. I can't do the New York Times. Now, my dad is very good. He can do the New York Times, but I am just not good at that. Yes, Katie, solitaire. You have to look up Addiction in the Play Store. It's an awesome solitaire game. I will, CCC. I love solitaire. Yes, Xenomorph. He's the one that curates those awesome late night chats. I'm so glad that you could listen to me for a long time. I never would have guessed that, but thank you guys. Yes, I missed the acid rock years, I guess. That was an interesting night when I heard the word jazz. I'm not the biggest fan of jazz. Now, if anyone else likes jazz, I'm not saying that that's bad. It's wonderful that there's so many different types of music for everyone to enjoy, but I'm just not the largest jazz fan. So when I heard the word jazz, I thought, oh, well, it's George. I love George and I love these chats, so I'm going to go support it anyway. And I may not like the music, but I ended up having a really good time with the music. It was different. I had no idea what acid jazz would be, but it was fun. And I just thought, well, maybe I found a new genre of music that I kind of enjoy. So it was fun listening to. Fancy Panda says, what besides vintage have you collected during the pandemic? I can't stop buying house plants, LOL. So Fancy Panda, I cannot keep anything alive at all to save my life. So I've not collected house plants, but what would I say that's not vintage that I've started? Hats, I guess. I mean, I have a collection of vintage hats. So this one, and you guys are going to see my horrible quarantine hair that I have been cutting myself because I can't go out and get it cut. This is a vintage Stetson hat that I'm wearing with the candy stripe design on the inside. I love this hat. It is like a blue suede. It's probably not reading blue on camera, but it is. And it has this really neat buckle and this rope design. This is vintage, But I have a lot of hats that aren't vintage. So most of the colored hats that I wear are not vintage. And so I've started getting a collection of colored hats. A lot of vintage hats are brown or blue or black. They were more practical colors because people then were using these hats pretty much every day. And the fedora itself, the fedora hat, I was reading about it the other day, and that was more of a common man's hat. Most people back then did not wear fedoras in a fancy setting. You would wear a top hat or something, a bowler hat maybe, might be even more fancy. So people that didn't have as much money would wear fedoras. And fedoras were made in practical colors for that reason, because people needed one all-purpose hat. So I have a lot of fedoras that are not vintage. I try to buy vintage hats because I really think that they're the best. Stetson is a super nice hat company, and I got this for $14 on eBay, which was a steal of a deal, because Stetson is, well, very expensive. If you know their hats, they're, $200 or $300 a hat, which is crazy, but they're well made. And then I have a couple of Dobbs hats that are vintage that I absolutely adore. And most of the vintage hats can be a little bit pricier depending on, where they're coming from, what condition they are. Sometimes they can be more, but I've been having fun also wearing the colors. So if I don't do a vintage hat, I like the I like the colored hats because they're fun, right? And they don't make like a red hat and a vintage Dobbs. I don't think Dobbs, the ladies' hats, like the Fascinators and the wide brim derby hats might, but when you're talking about a vintage man's hat, which is what I typically wear because they just fit me really well and I love the look, I've been collecting colored hats by a company. It is called, what is the company's name? It's Bruno Capello. Bruno Capella. He makes, I guess it's a him. It's a designer that makes Austrian or Australian. I think it's Australian. I keep wanting to say Austrian, but Australian wool felt hats, which are really nice hats. They're good quality and they come in colors. So I have a red one now, a highlighter yellow one. I got a green one. I have a mint green one now, a dark red, orange, and a white one. I got a white one for Christmas, so that's fun. So that's what I've been collecting that's non-vintage, you could say. Christy says, thanks, Kelly. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you find my voice soothing. Yeah, laying down is what I do, Christy. I lay down when I get dizzy, and I put a cold. I have this like cold thing that goes from my head to my feet. It's like a gigantic cold pack. It's supposed to be like for people who have back trouble, but I keep it in my freezer folded up, and when I need it, I get dizzy, I just lay it all over my body and I lay down, and that just really seems to help. So I'm probably, yes, acid, oh my, I'll refrain. I can't forget I found y'all through Mom. Yeah, it was interesting. If anyone plays Angry Birds, Dream Blast, look for my team and join me. Let me know if you're from here. The team is, I'm going to say this incorrectly, Muttoners on Angry Birds Dream Blast. I'm addicted to that too. I have not played Angry Birds, I have to admit, but when Temple Run, do you guys remember Temple Run? When that came out, oh man, I was addicted to that. I could play a lot of Temple Run. Wish I had the blow molds I grew up with. Right, CCC? I know. I think let's see. Kelly Blanchard, do you not have Instagram yet? It would be fun if you do. We have a house going out of town with about 100 blow molds in display. They have everything in every size. That is amazing, Tammy. Wow. I would love to see that. And the tree behind you too. My dad threw ours away in the 90s. Oh no, CCC. My grandmother was watching the live stream that I did with Misty, Kelly, and Patrick when we read The Night Before Christmas. And Kelly collects the little golden books, and Patrick, he does stuff with libraries, and one of the companies that he works with has a library that has the world's largest collection of little golden books. And so Grandma was saying to me on the phone, she goes, oh, well, before he moved, I just threw away all my little golden books. She had given them away, and didn't know that some of them probably were worth some money. But I don't collect little golden books myself. I think the graphics are really wonderful, but I just don't need to start another collection. I collect vintage Halloween blow molds, but one time I plugged one in and immediately blew a fuse. Oh no, Tia Fane. I have gotten some old lamps. If you guys know, I love the industrial look. I love anything that has like a story that came from a factory or something like that. And there's a place on the edge of town here that's just amazing. If you're ever in Jacksonville, you have to go to Eco Relics. They are like this huge warehouse, and they're a salvage yard. So I go there a lot for woodworking because they have amazing deals on big slabs of wood and all kinds of things. And they have a workshop there, so they'll build anything you want. But they also have tons, I mean, tons of vintage, mid-century modern furniture, display cases full of like old hardware or anything you could ever imagine. I mean, it's just amazing, like vintage until as far as your eye can see. Old lamps, they go into places like when the landing closed here, they had a huge sale of things from the Jacksonville landing when it got torn down. I mean, just pretty much anything you could ever want. And what I did was I went in there and I bought a couple of lamps for my house. And one of them was let me see if I can turn this over for you guys to see. There you go. You can see this. I bought this lathe lamp. This is let me get the StreamYard. There it is. You can see that lamp back there. I bought a 1930s lathe lamp from them. This was out of a factory, and it's really amazing. It's red. It looks orange, but it's red, and it is so cool. It's heavy as all get out. This thing was built to last. It's made from cast iron from the 1930s, and it still works. But I was terrified when I got to my house to plug it in. I checked the cord. The cord was in great shape. It wasn't, breaking at any points. And they had it plugged in. The guy said they've had it at Eco Relics, I think for over 5 years now, just plugged in every day, day in and day out, no problem. So I was like, well, they've had it plugged in. It must be okay. But I was still nervous, and thankfully nothing happened. And I've had it plugged in and on in my house now probably for about a year, and I love it. It's fantastic. I might have it, rewired at some point just because I would never leave it on while I'm gone, but it is just really a cool piece. So I love that. I saw the segment, Katie, on the light fight, and that was unbelievable, the number of blow molds he had collected so many years. Yes, he was a younger fella, and it was so neat. I'm glad you got to see that, Joanne, because it blew me away. I love blow molds, but I can't stand the modern blow up things that collapse and look dead on the everybody's lawn in the morning. So I was just thinking that I showed you guys, if you saw my Christmas light tour, there's a house that does these huge inflatables, and they have a lot of blow molds too, but they had more of the inflatables this year than the blow molds. And they were cool to see, but some of them on the one side, that's why when you saw in the video that you could round the corner and there was more, I didn't take you around to that corner because there was like 3 or 4 of them that looked like they had died. Like Rudolph was all just collapsed and sad looking. And I was like, no, I can't show that on YouTube. That's just too sad. I like things to be old fashioned. Was you talking about Tippy? Probably Tippy. I know Tippy got out the other day. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you like the hat. This is one of my favorites because it's a suede, and this just isn't showing up in color, but it's a navy blue suede, and it is so soft, and it is a pinch hat. So you can pinch the front here. That's what they call a pinch hat, and you can literally mold it. It's a crushable hat, so you can mold it how you want it. And if it's definitely a fedora because it flips down in the front. So I can style it any way I want. I can flip it down or flip it up. I usually wear my hats flipped up, but I recently got a hat that has a little bit of a wider brim. This is probably like 2 inches, I think. And the one I got has 3 inches. And I can flip it down. And I have to say, it's kind of a fun look. So I might play around with that soon. I got a lava lamp last night for Christmas. Blue and purple. I love it. Oh, how fun, CCC. I love lava lamps. My neighbor, we went a couple of Christmases ago to Target to get a couple of things she needed. She was having one of those white elephant Christmas gift exchange parties, and she had to bring something. And she said, most of the people that come are a little bit younger. What do you think they would like? And I said, oh, I don't know. You could get, but they were doing more like, it wasn't white elephant and that the gifts were bad. They were doing more like Chinese Christmas, where you were supposed to bring stuff that was actually interesting to people. So I said, well, I don't know. What about a candle? And she's like, no, I don't want to do a candle. So we were walking by the aisles, the end caps that have like those bargain sales. And there was a lava lamp for sale for like $10. And she's like, oh, that would be perfect. And I was like, yeah, people do like lava lamps. And she said, secretly, I would like to keep this and I hope I get it back. And it turns out that she ended up getting it back in the exchange. I guess she stole it back at the end. You know how you can do that if you're number one. And so she was so excited, and it's pink and she loves pink, and she put it in her bedroom. So that's kind of fun. Oh my goodness, you and your mama have got to tell us the bonfire story. What about bonfires? Have I missed something here? I want to know about the bonfire. That sounds fun. Have you ever been to the Great American Antique Mall in Jacksonville? Yes, Justin, I have actually. It's now called the American Antique Mall. I went over there once, and I met a really nice lady over there, and she had a bunch of things for sale, and she ended up moving from that store to one of my very favorite antique stores, Avonlea, which is huge. I can't wait to take you guys in Avonlea sometime. It is like a miniature warehouse. It is huge, and you could spend all day in there, and there's just so many good things. And the guy that works in there, I've become really good friends with. He's my advertising buddy, as I say, because he deals in advertising and antique bottles, which is just up my alley. And the lady that worked at that antique mall has moved over there. So one day I was in there last year sometime. I was wandering around way in the back, and I saw this lady. So, oh, hey. And I was like, I turned around. I was like, oh, you're the lady from the Great American Antique Mall, which is now America something or another. And she said, yeah, I moved over here and I like it a little bit better. And I think that the antique mall you're talking about has turned into a little bit more of a modern space, because the last time I went over there, I just didn't find anything that was super old. So I'll give it another shot. I just have to go back over there sometime once the pandemic ends. But I can't wait to take you into some more places around Jacksonville, like Eco Relics. You guys, I can't wait to film that. What did I miss? Okay, let me scroll up to find this comment. Okay, something about, you have no idea, it was epic. I was freaking out. Okay, I got to find out. Oh, night, Belinda. I'm sorry I missed your comment. You've probably already gone to bed, but good night. I love my Stetson too. I wouldn't take it for anything. It belonged to my stepdad, and I saved my mom from burning it. Really, Kelly? Okay, so that must be the bonfire story. So, what hat size do you wear? So, yes, they have sizes. A good hat, a really nice hat, will have a size. When you look online, and hats just are small, medium, and large, they're typically not as good a quality as a hat that actually mentions it's a specific size. So I am, and every hat company is different, but this hat, let me look at the inside. This was sold for $30 at one point at Gables. It still has the tag in there, which that would have been expensive then. Let me see what size this is. You have to, so you lift up the hat band. You know, usually you can lift up the hat band and look for a size. Someone has, I think when I bought this, they just measured it, but I am a 7 1/4 in men's hats. That's what I wear. Now, the hats I've been getting that are colored, they are really good quality, and they are marked. The way that they do their sizes online is they have a size chart. So even though they are marked small, medium, and large, you can go to the medium, which is what I am in, Bruno hats, and it will say 7 1/4. So they're even more specific. So they're still a very good quality hat. But when you wear hats, it's always better if you can to get a specific size, because you know it's going to fit you that way. So hats that are just one size fit all probably aren't the best quality, and they probably won't fit you. Yeah, Stetson hats are really, really nice. I was looking at a Stetson hat when I was in New York in Macy's, because I wanted to buy something from Macy's, but I didn't want to spend an arm and a leg either. And I was looking at Stetson hats, and they had a really nice one. It was like $130. And I thought, oh no, that's a lot for a hat. But I ended up finding another hat called the Country Gentleman, and apparently it's Macy's brand. And it's neat. It is not a fedora, but it's just like the ones my grandfather used to wear. Not Papa B that had the hats that I wear from him. I have my great-grandfather's hats that I wear a lot. This one wasn't his, but I do have some brown ones that I wear that were his. But one like my mom's dad used to wear, he would wear these newsy hats, and then they have little ear flaps to cover the ears. And so I got one of those in New York, and it turned out to be perfect because it was cold there. So I could pull down the ear flaps when I was walking around, and it kept me really nice and warm. So that was a good buy. So let me see. Did I miss the thing with the bonfire? I think that was the comment that I need to scroll up to find. Angela, I made another post for Pink Elephant Parlor and sent to you and Katie. Oh, good. I love the Pink Elephant Parlor. If you are not subscribed to Sandra, please go subscribe to her. She is awesome. Let me see. I must have missed I think I got the bonfire comment. That's what I wanted to see. I never connected acid with jazz. Now, Pink Floyd and a few others, okay. Yeah, I would have never connected it either, but that's right. And then she's saying, yes, I love that you say good night. What is it? Good night something and say your prayers. Oh, you said it in Trisha's chat, and I had it, and now I've forgotten. But I love that. Good night, say your prayers. I think that's great. I'm all caught up now. Do you have any camel color hats? Justin, I do. I just got a camel colored hat. It's camel, and it has a dark chocolate rim around it, and I'm very excited to be wearing that. And what's neat about it is on the side where it's got the feather is it has a little bow, and then it has the Bruno Capello logo, but it's like it looks like a brass round tack, and then it has a really cool feather. So I'm excited about that. So this was the comment that I was looking for. And yes, apparently Kelly saved a Stetson hat from being burned. Well, I got to hear that story sometime, Kelly. You got to tell that again, because that's awesome. Yes, good night, sweet dreams, and say your prayers. That's it, sweet dreams. I was missing that part. Yeah, I love that. I think that's fantastic. And now let me go back down to the bottom where I'm missing some chat. Kelly, I'm picturing your mom making a bonfire of his belongings. Oh, no. Yes, I cannot wait to take you in Avonlea and to my other favorite place. It's fun. I've caught up in that now. The chat moves around. That's the thing. If you've ever done StreamYard, you'll know what I'm talking about. The chat jumps, and then you miss where you were, and then you got to go down, and then if you go back up, so I need to get down to the bottom. Oh, Carrie, no worries. You were looking at vintage seed packets on IG and forgot you went live. Don't worry, Carrie. I am so glad that you're looking up some seed packets. I think Patrick at Trusty Huckster Mercantile found some of those. My son got a great hat in Australia. He looks great in it. Looks like Crocodile Dundee, I think. Kendra, it's funny. I started wearing hats. Well, I've always loved hats, and I started getting even more into hats at the beginning of the year when my grandfather passed away, because I got his dad's hats, Papa B, and I got his hats, my papa's hats. Bye, Angela. Have a good night. So I started wearing hats even more and more because those hats were just so wonderful. And I wore my great grandfather's Papa B's hat down to the mailroom one day, and the lady that runs our apartment building, she and the other co-manager came out, and he says, "Oh, you look like Indiana Jones." So now every time he sees me in the hall, he's like, "Hello, Indiana." And it probably is true because, like, today I'm wearing the vest with the hat. Christy, I don't do junk journaling, but I probably should. I junk coffee table. I loved, and I still miss this because nowadays we don't get any magazines like we used to. But back in the day, we used to get magazines, and it was so fun going into people's houses and sitting down at their coffee table, and there would just be magazines galore. And it was so fun to pick up one and leaf through it. I really miss magazines and catalogs. I just don't get very many of them anymore. Yes, so need COVID to be over. Yes, so I can go back to the antique shops. As soon as this COVID mess is over, I know. Don't we all want to visit each other? I can't wait for the company picnic. I hope we get the company picnic all arranged so that we can all visit each other in person. I think that would just be so much fun. And I know there's been a lot of chatter about that, and I would just love to meet all of you guys. It would be great, but we got to get all this mess over with. That's a great story. Maybe that is who he looked like, was Indiana Jones. I'll post on IG. You should post on IG. I can't wait to see Kendra. Junk coffee table too, Carrie. I've taken it to a new level, and by mean quite a pile. Well, you guys, you probably can't see it in the live stream right now, but back here on this little space, this table here, my kitchen island, I've been getting a lot of special treasures from everybody. And so I have a whole pile of Christmas cards, which you guys have all sent me, and it is just amazing. And I want to save every one of them. So I'm waiting until I get a few more so that I can put them in my ephemera book. Now, my ephemera book is inside my Coca-Cola. If you've seen my little house tour, I have a Coca-Cola cooler. And inside, if you open it, it's empty, except for I have my ephemera book, and I have some vinyl in there. I have all of my show tunes vinyl. So I've been waiting to put that in there, but I don't want to have to take everything off on top until I have enough of it. So I've just been starting a pile. And I went through it yesterday, and I was like, oh, I also have these magazines I got to show off on YouTube. And then I have all of the books I've been reading for my Christmas reading series. So long story short, I have a big pile of things that I need to go through and get sorted too. Where is a central place we could all go to? Well, a lot of people were saying that Indiana would be kind of, I think, central because there's so many that live in the area near Misty. Now, I would love to do a Florida meetup, and, people, of course, could come. Anybody's welcome to that. But we'll see. I don't know. I travel pretty much anywhere. I would go anywhere for a meetup because I just think it would be so fun. I have so little enough flat surfaces left until to start another collection or craft. I know, that's why I was like, I cannot start another collection of anything because I'm running out of room here. I live in a 1-bedroom, so everything has to have a place and has to be organized or it looks like complete chaos. So I thought, okay, I just cannot start another collection of something. I wanted to collect vintage teacups. I was like, I have several of them. I have my mom's teacups she brought back from the half-price China shop in London, which I adore. And I've always wanted to have like a tea party, like a true British tea party. And I was like, oh, what if I got a whole bunch of vintage teacups? And I thought, no, because I can't collect them all. I don't have any more room. Christy, how far is your house from Brenham? That's pretty much it, Carrie. It's basically free from scrapbooking with no planning. The more random stuff, the better. Casey, but you give it a theme, several themes, one per chapter. Yes, for the junk journaling. I'm down for Florida. You know, sun, sand, and warmth. That's right, Kelly. Florida would be your kind of place. That would be a good meetup. Brenham, now Tippy Winks, are you in Texas too? I know Carrie's in Austin. So are you? I'm assuming you're in Texas too. I should know that, but I don't. I try to keep track of everybody, but it is so hard to remember everybody's name. Hi, Maria. Oh, yes, it is about 40 degrees out today, so I am in my vest and my hat, trying to be cozy. Oh, you're in Houston. Oh, that's good. I'm glad to know that. I try to remember, like I said, everybody, but our community is growing so fast, which is absolutely fabulous. But I have trouble remembering everybody's names. I think I've got the regulars down pat, like the people that are in all the chats every day. I think I know your names pretty well now, which I'm proud of myself because name remembering is not my strong suit. And you have seen in the chats before, I am pretty terrible at remembering actors and actresses' names. Now, I can tell you about the movie, I can tell you the plot line, I can describe them, but for the life of me, I do not know their names. I am the worst at that. Florida has humidity. In Arizona, we only have heat, dry heat, but heat. Yeah, see, that's the thing, Tiger Purple. I can deal with just dry heat. I don't like it, but I can deal with it. But the humidity is the worst. It's that sticky, just awful feeling. Like when you come inside, you can't even get really cooled off because you're sticky and you're gross. So when I come in from the humidity, it's like I immediately want to take a shower and change my clothes. Katie, I promise that next time I get to Florida, my mom and I will drive up to St. Augustine to meet with you, even if it means I wear gloves and a trash bag over my head with a breathing hole cut out. Oh, Carrie, I would just love to meet you and your mom. Lori is Carrie's mom, and Lori is near me in Florida, Lori Blue Flamingo. So I'm really excited about meeting you guys. That would be fun. I would just love that. Yeah, I hate humidity too. Man, I hate it with a passion. It's too hot. We have friends in Katy, Texas. Our Bama child is from there. Mark and I hosted a UA student here, and it was such a rewarding experience. It's fun to host students. I think my dad and my grandmother, Bibi, they had a foreign exchange student once. And I think her name was Amelie, and they still talk with her, which is really fun. Joanne saying, Katie, it's funny you mentioned teacups because the other tree I'm putting up is my teapot ornaments. They are very delicate but beautiful. That's really neat, Joanne. My mom does an egg tree every year. So we have our main tree and then an egg tree. And there was a lady down the street from my grandparents that made these gorgeous eggs. And you have to blow out the insides. I really don't know how you do it other than with a straw, but I've heard that it's very hard. So you blow out the insides, and then she would hand carve all these eggs and do like these delicate scenes. I wish I had a picture of them, but I don't. But she'd glue in all this velvet flocking and then beautiful tiny little faux pearls, and then do like winter scenes inside. And we must have, I would say, probably 15 or 16 of these eggs. And so my mom always does an egg tree, and I just think it's absolutely beautiful. And I love those. So they're really neat. I wish I had one to show you. That would be an amazing tree. Yeah, really, Joanne. I would love to see pictures of that. Christine, we loved it. That was years ago. We formed a bond that has lasted. The story behind how we met is off the chain. That is wild, Kelly. Well, Kelly, you and your mom need to sit down, I think, and do a story time, because I think all of us would love hearing you and your mom tell stories about certain things like that. It would be really great. My mom has painted Easter eggs like that, Katie. You should take a needle and poke a hole in both ends and blow. It takes forever. I've heard that it takes forever, Carrie, but that is really cool. It's amazing the kind of work and craftsmanship that goes into things that people make. It just blows me away sometimes, and those are so delicate. I don't know that I would have the patience for things that are super delicate. Like I watched a video the other night. It was one of those TikTok videos that just came on my feed. and it was a guy knitting, and of course it was a comedy skit, and he was knitting, and he's like, the soundbite was, I don't know how I have the patience for this. And I was watching this guy knit, and I was like, I love doing crafts. I love, obviously I do woodworking, so I love anything that takes a lot of skill and time and effort and things that are technical. Like my mind works that way. So I figuring technical things out is kind of my jam. But I was watching this guy knit, and I instantly knew I do not have the patience for this. I don't. I would get so frustrated because I am not good at sewing. And so I would be trying to do a stitch and I'd get it wrong, and I would just, nope. I was like, I could never knit. Yes, hugs to you, Maria. Absolutely, hugs to you. She got all the art talent in the family. I have zero patience for that. Yeah, I don't have any patience for knitting. I don't think that's not the kind of thing that I think I could do. I remember in high school, we had a teacher, a religion teacher, and I think I've shared this before, but she always had all the students learn to knit. It was one of the projects. And she is just such a dear friend of mine still to this day. I loved her. She was one of my very favorite teachers in school. But she had this philosophy that if all the kids would learn to knit, they would stay out of trouble and they wouldn't be going and having sexy time, is what that's what she called it, sexy time. So I just remember that. And she would teach all the kids to knit. And I was just so terrible at that knitting project. I just could not, to save my life. Night, Tammy. No worries. Yeah, it is. It's late here for everybody. Louie is sleeping. Louie is curled up. I don't know if I can turn the thing around for you guys to see, but she is curled up on the pillow and the blanket, all curled up in a little circle, taking a nap. Kelly, please ask your mom if y'all can do story time together. Yeah, I would love that. It would be so great. Oh, Katie, I sent a photo of my son and his hat to you directly. Oh, I'm going to look right now, Kendra Joe. That sounds really fun. Let's see. Oh, yes, it does kind of look like Indiana Jones, but that is so good looking on him. I like that hat, and it's got the little ribbon around it like mine does. That's fun. Thank you, Christy. I think you sent me some wonderful posts, so thank you. I will share those to my IG stories after this chat. Yes, good night, Tammy. No worries at all. Yeah, it is getting late. Let me show you guys Louie. I think I can show you Louie because she's sleeping and she's calm now. And I know Carrie is here, and I'm going to have a sip of something to drink. I am having a Christmas treat. I had my orange last night, my chocolate orange. And then tonight I am having Mexican Coke. This is made with cane sugar. And so this is my other Christmas treat. I try not to do a whole lot of soda, and this is the first soda I think I've had this entire year. Other than, when I went to New York, I had Coca-Cola with my pizza at that pizza place that I just think is so, so good. But this is just delicious. It is such a treat. I love that so much. So let me see if I can get Louie for you. Christy, I will. I may have to help her coerce her into it. Well, I hope, yes. Oh my God, that's a glass bottle of Coke. Yeah, it is. It is so refreshing. It is just wonderful. If you have not had Mexican Coke before, it is, let's see see, this has caramel and it has cane sugar. And there is something so wonderful about this. It just tastes so good. And it's just really, really good. Katie, that Coke is made in Mexico, right? Yes, it is. We just got some. Yes, it is. It's made in Mexico. And you can get it at certain gas stations. And I get it at my grocery store. You can get a 4-pack. Christy, oh, you were typing the same thing. Christy says, I love Mexican Coke. It is so good with tacos. Oh my word. Yes, it is. And boy, do I miss a good taco. I've not been out for tacos since the beginning of the year, and I am missing it. I'm missing guacamole. I'm missing the whole kit and caboodle. My first name isn't Katie. No, my first name is Anna. I'm Anna Catherine. There's a lot of Annas in our family. So my dad's family, I think there are several Annas, but my mom, the Anna that I'm named after, my grandmother, Beverly, is married, obviously, to my grandfather, Jim. And my grandfather, Jim, his mom is Anna Geraldine Fitzgerald Hirsch. So there's a lot of Annas. In fact, I think there's an Anna Dora Loeb on my grandmother's side. I was just looking at these pictures. In fact, I can show you. I'll get Louie here in just a second. I'll show you these pictures. I've showed them before in a video I did on pictures, but I was just looking at these family pictures. And I think, let me find the picture here. Yeah, my great-great-grandma, this would have been my grandmother's father's parents. This is Anna Dora Loeb, and then George Milton. So that is my great grandparents. Yes, the family tree stuff sometimes makes my head swim, but this is Anna Dora Loeb, my great-great-grandmother, and that is my great-great-grandfather, George Milton. And then in the back, I don't know if this will show up, but that's my great-grandfather, George. And I have his glasses. In fact, I have his glasses sitting right here. This is his eyeglasses. So I have those. So that's him. So that's one Anna. And then this is the other Anna. This is my great-grandparents, my great-grandmother's parents. So this would have been the Anna that I was named after. Her mom was also Anna. So this is Anna May Spartanburg Fitzgerald. They were German, and we called her Mama Fitzgerald. And then this is Montgomery Michael Fitzgerald. Now, my brother is Carson Michael, and he was named after this Michael in the photo here. So those are those photos. And then here's my grandmother, my great-grandmother, who I was named after. This is Anna Geraldine. That is my grandpa, Jim, who at the time everybody said, Jimmy, there's little Jimmy. And then his brother, my Uncle Bob. And then I have other pictures here. This is my dad and my aunt when they were little, which I just think is so cute. So there's my Aunt Sue and my dad, Mark. And here is all my grandmother's brothers. So Fern, Don, and George. All of my grandmother, Beverly, and her brothers. And then this is neat. This is my great-great-grandparents. This is my grandmother's mother's parents from 1894. Yes, 1894. This was a photo on their wedding day. This is James G. Cullum and Pauline Kimmich. So that's really fun. And then this is the only photo I've ever seen of my grandmother who I was named after, my great-grandmother, Anna. And then my grandmother's mother, Esther, who I have her sewing machine, which I just love. She was a sewer and a quilter and just wonderful. She's the one that went and helped the war effort. She checked in and out of the equipment during World War II, and it was the first time my grandmother saw her mother wear pants. So that was pretty neat. And then my grandmother, my great-grandmother, who I was named after, Anna Geraldine, she was a painter and a world traveler. She traveled all over the place and was very talented. And this is a picture of the two of them with my mom. Now, my mom is probably not having the best day because, you know, kids, they cry sometimes in photos. So I think this is funny. It's a really lovely picture of my great-grandparents. And then you have my mom there. She was a very happy kid, but I guess just, you know, how kids are in photographs. So that's just a fun photo. So these are really neat pictures of my family. And this picture here, now, I don't know. My mom and I were trying to figure this out. This was taken in 1920. And this is outside of the house. I think the house that was in St. Charles. Missouri. So this definitely is my grandmother's family. And I think now we're trying to determine what the middle initial is. This was taken out of a book that was typed on a typewriter. So we don't know if it's an M in the middle or not, but we think it's George M. Stukenbroker, which this means that this wouldn't have been my great-grandfather, George, but this would have been George, grandma's brother, George. So that's what we think. We think that's who this is in this photo, but it's just amazing to see something from the 20s with that old bicycle, and it's just really cool. So love these photos here. I have more around my apartment, but these are the ones that I keep in my little bowl that was my great-grandmother's. My great-grandmother had a set of these bowls, Depression era bowls with this beautiful wheel cut flower in them. And I have a large bowl and then two of the small berry bowls. And I keep the photos in the large berry bowl. So it's pretty amazing to have these photographs. Thank you, guys. Yes, I really like my name, Anna Catherine. I think it's lovely. Oh, Katie, got your Christmas card, and it's definitely going in my scrapbook. Oh, good, Christy. I'm glad. I tried to send Christmas cards out to everybody that I had addresses for, and if you sent me something and I still haven't gotten it, I'm still going to write you back. Don't worry. My mail's been held hostage a little bit because of the pandemic, but I will be getting more of it, so don't worry. And if I missed you, please shoot me an email and I'll still send you a Christmas card. I try to get to everybody, but it's impossible to get everybody in our community because we are so large. Now you want corn syrup. It's such a great picture. You should blow it up and frame it. Justin, I hope so. I would love to get some of these framed. I do have a few of them around my house, and they're really lovely. I have more old photos. See what these cow and chicken folks miss this time of day. That's right. The early morning people are missing these fun photos. It must be an Alabama saying, I think. It's a very cute expression. I like it. I was born in Jacksonville. My mom was born in New York, and then they moved to Missouri, Cape Girardeau, where a lot of my family's from. And then I have family from Cape Girardeau, St. Louis, and Illinois. and my dad now lives in South Carolina, but we don't have any family originating from there. But I've been in Jacksonville my whole life. I love your expressions, Kelly. They're so fun. They really are. I love hearing your mom talk. I just got a photo of a relative in the Civil War in a round box that was used to keep matches dry. I'm grateful to have it. Oh, I know, Kendra. Aren't those things so special? When you get a photo, I tell you, the photo that really meant that all of these photos mean a ton to me because they're family and they're really special. And I feel just blessed to have photo of family going all the way back to my great-great-grandparents, because I know a lot of people don't have photos like that. But I will show you this photo that just really, really made me so happy to get. And I got to go grab it, so I'm leaving the frame for a moment. But this photo right here that I'm going to show you in a minute was a big, big deal to me. I was so thrilled to get it. I'm going to gather some photos up here so that I can show you all. These photos are extra special to me as well. And this one was really cool. My dad found it, and this is my grandfather, Papa. He passed away at the beginning of the year, and it's definitely been a really tough year without him. But getting this photo of him when he was probably in the 1950s with his record collection has just been so absolutely wonderful. And I'm thrilled my dad found it. And so I keep it now on top of my record player, and because I have a lot of his vinyl, and I just love this. So this photo is extra, extra special. And I also have some photos, like I've never seen these before. And I was so glad to have a photo of my grandparents on their wedding day. So this is my dad's parents. This is Papa and Bibi, and then both sets of my great-grandparents, which is amazing. So this is Bibi's parents. This is my great-grandfather, Noel. And he was the one that had the refrigeration business and was really into inventing all kinds of things in his workshop basement. I definitely think I got a lot of my skills from him. And then this is Papa B and Mima and Papa, the ones that I got the hat, that I wear his hat now, which is special. And then my mom had this printed, and I just think it's lovely. This is the grandmother I was named after. This is Anna Geraldine. And then my great grandfather, Oscar, he's the one that started the radio station. And he started the radio station in his mother's backyard, and it was the first radio station in their area. And they had 300 people lining the streets just to watch the first radio broadcast, even though most of them probably couldn't hear it because they were out in the street. So this is just a really wonderful photo of them. And then this photo was also extremely special. I was just thrilled to get it. Hi, Nancy, at this overstuffed house. I see that you're coming in here. This photo is amazing. This is, I asked Dad to find a photo of Papa B in hats. And this is the hat that I now wear is in this photo, which is just awesome. So this is Papa B. And that's my grandmother, Bibi. And then Mima. And then my Aunt Sue, when she was young. And they're I guess, in front of the house. But I just think this is amazing. They were from Illinois. So these photos are just absolutely gold to me. They're treasures to have. And I just adore these so much. They're really neat to get. What am I missing here in the chat? I meant the expression when you see someone mad goes, who licked the red off of your candy? I never heard that one. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh, that's funny. It reminds me of my neighbor. My neighbor, she has all these funny expressions like that. And it just makes me smile because I love those. Nancy came in and I miss Nancy. Hi, Nancy, at this overstuffed house. Welcome. Nancy saying, I have photos like that, old family from 100 years ago. My son does not want them, which is sad. That, that's the hard part, is a lot of people nowadays are getting rid of stuff like that. And it's too bad because all of these photos are just amazing to have and to see the family history. I mean, some of these I had never seen, and there's a few that I showed that my mom had never seen either. Like, we had never seen that wedding photo from the 1800s, and it was just so neat to get. Oh, night, Tiger Purple. Good night. Good night. No worries. I love these photos. They're really, really amazing. And now I'm catching up in the chat. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys are liking the photos. I do. I am really trying, Christy, my best to learn about family, and there's great grandparents that I hadn't really heard much about. Now I'm learning about them, and I would love to get all of it on video. That's my next project, is hopefully the pandemic will end and I can get things on video, because I really would like to preserve some of these stories that my family has told me. And I just love family history. I just think it's wonderful, and having these photos are amazing. I wish I had more room to display them. This is the glasses. Remember the glasses I just showed you guys? These glasses here. These were my great-grandfather's. I found a picture of him in those glasses. So this is really pretty cool to have his glasses and then the photo of him. This is my great-grandfather, George. So I just love these photos and things. To me, they are worth gold. They are more precious than all the gold in the world. That's what I would say. My aunt made homemade Chex Mix and sent me a full tin, and I have been plowing through it for days. Oh, Carrie, I love Chex Mix. I could eat a whole container of it to myself. How old are those glasses? Well, I have 2 pairs of his glasses. The other pair is in my bedroom. But these, I mean, they're old. I would say easily over at least 80 years old is what I would say. I mean, they've been around a while. And they're just amazing. They are just really cool. They're the wire rim frames. The ones that I have in the bedroom, let me see if there's a mark on these. Oh, there is a mark. Let me see if I can read this. The ones I have in the bedroom are actually gold plate, I think, and I have the case that has the name of the ophthalmologist in St. Charles, which is really interesting. But these are just neat. They're just really cool. I don't know much about older glasses. They probably are better. Well, they're thick. The glass itself is really thick and heavy, and they probably are much better than now glasses. I will say with my glasses that I wear, I have always been a big fan of Ray-Ban, because for woodworking you need something that is shatter resistant, and their lenses are one of the only pairs of glasses you can get that are shatter resistant. Doesn't mean they won't break, but if something were to hit you, they would be safe. They're also just really nice, thick wire frames. And I used to have glasses that were the plastic, but they bend too much for my liking. So yeah, I'm all for the quality. Family history preservation and heirlooms are becoming a thing of the past. Why do you all think this is happening? I'm beyond sentimental, and so many around me and younger than me are not. Well, I don't know why that is, Kelly, but I think that it's sad. I think in the day and age of everything being modern and online and technology kind of taking over, we're going away from physical things. I think sometimes, though, lately physical things have been coming back. Like people during the quarantine have been doing puzzles, and they've been wanting to read books, and all of that. In a sense, vinyl's coming back, and so people are going back to having a physical record. But there's a lot of online things now where things are not physical anymore. It's like, why have that in my house when I can just get it online, like DVDs? Why have a bunch of DVDs when I can find it online? Which, I'm kind of the opposite of that. I find that a lot of those streaming services never have what you want. So if I like a movie, I like to actually own it on DVD so I know that I can watch it again when I want. I like the physical media. I like the feeling of a book in my hand. I am someone that cannot do online books very well. Like, I do the audio books, but I am someone that needs a physical book. If I'm preparing for a YouTube video, I have a legal pad, and I physically write things on the legal pad because I need to see it on a piece of paper and have it in front of me. I have Post-it notes everywhere because I use Post-it notes and I use the legal pads. I'm very much into the whole physical thing, which I know a lot of people aren't these days for some reason. I think that one reason I'm drawn to Katie is because she's so into her family history, and I love what she shares. Oh, thank you, Kelly. I do. I try to include a lot of my family things in my videos as well, because a lot of the antiques that I have in my house are from family, and that's what really got me into vintage. I've always loved vintage, since I was a young kid. I loved going down Antique Row with my mom at the Fernandina Shrimp Festival and getting costume jewelry rings. I always thought that was really fun. But I love researching some of these things that have been given to me by my family because they're extra special, and I love learning. I think it's because everything can be digital, like ancestry sites, and younger generations don't get the history. They really don't. I think nowadays, because everything is online, which can be good, but it can be bad at the same time. I think I have my great-grandmother's gold wire glasses framed. I think that the ones in the bedroom, Nancy, are gold. They're either gold-plated or they're gold, which must have been the standard then for glasses. But that's amazing. That is just really cool. I have a black Burberry glasses, and their print is on the side. Yes, Justin, Burberry, I think, makes a lot of really good glasses. Mine, so Ray-Ban, it's interesting. They do not mark. Sometimes they mark their frames, but they have, like, and see, now I can't see because I don't have my glasses on, so I can't even see where to hold this. But they have this little thing that's theirs. And then my lenses are really dirty. So I'm sorry if you guys are seeing this dirty lens. But Ray-Ban sometimes will inscribe Ray-Ban up at the top corner of the glass. But with the pandemic, Louie actually ate my glasses. I had a black pair of Ray-Bans, and she got them while I was asleep off my nightstand and chewed them up. Yes, very expensive replacement. And I went to the glasses store because I had to have glasses. Thank goodness for my prescription sunglasses. Otherwise, I don't know how I would have gotten there because I am blind as a bat without my glasses. So I put on my prescription sunglasses and I went over there. And normally they have to send the glasses out to get the Ray-Ban inscription, because they used to allow you to go to any lens crafters, and the lens crafter people, you could get the Ray-Ban official lenses with the Ray-Ban frames, or you could just get their in-house lens, which I always would get their in-house lens. And then they stopped doing that. Ray-Ban said, oh no, we have to send the glasses out to us to get the lenses made. So for a while I had Ray-Ban lenses, branded lenses, because that was the rule. Well, when Louie ate my glasses, I was really worried with the pandemic that they would say, oh, well, we have to send the glasses out, and so you'll be, without glasses for a week. And I thought, great, I'll be wearing my sunglasses inside, for a whole week, just trying to see. And luckily, they said that all of their lenses come from France or something like that. And so they were allowing the glasses stores to basically make lenses again for the time being, which I was really glad about because I could get my glasses that day, which I really needed. So these do not have the Ray-Ban branding, which I really don't care whether they do or not. I just need them to see. I made sure Mike knew who the big pictures were, but he lived with his father for 5 years so he could finish high school. When he started his first job, in his impressionable years, he has missed so much. Yes, I know. Well, my parents were divorced, and one of the things that was neat was going to my dad's and looking at some of these pictures I hadn't seen before, just because, we were in two places a lot of the time growing up, and so it was hard to get all of the family history. We didn't grow up with it like all of the time, so we got it in spurts. So it was kind of neat to sit down with Dad and actually see these pictures. I mean, I had not seen like the photo of my grandparents' wedding, and it was just neat to sit down and actually, study who these people were. It was the first time that I had really gotten to see a photo. I had heard about these people in little bits my whole life, and it was just great getting to finally see a photo. Okay, I'm going to hop off now. Oh, bye, Carrie. I meant to get Louie, and I'm sorry I didn't. Carrie, I know you like seeing Louie. Y'all may think I'm crazy, but I have a curio cabinet with some of my most treasured family pieces. And if something happened to them, I would die. Kelly, that is not crazy at all. I need to get some sort of a curio cabinet, but I have things sort of just around my house. Behind me, let me see if I can show you these. Now, I have a lot of different family things, but these are books. And what I do is, and I don't know if I can pull all of them, but basically I stack the glasses like this. This is what sits on my coffee table. And these books are very delicate because they're over 100 years old. These are poem books that belong to Evelyn Nunley. Now, Evelyn Nunley was my great-grandfather's, the great-grandfather that started the radio. So my great-grandfather Oscar's cousin. I think that's how she was related to him. These were her books. And, they've got some age to them. They're old, but they're beautiful. Some of them are lithographed. This one is Keep the Master's Use. And it's just gorgeous. I mean, absolutely stunning. So I have this book, and I adore this green book. This book has, I think this is the one, yes, that has the inscription on the inside. So it was given to Esther, or to Evelyn Moore Nunley, and Catherine. I guess that Catherine was her sister. And it says a collecting, and this is hard to read, collecting of the books from my great aunt. Collection of books from my great aunt. So these are even older. So this book belonged to whoever gave this to Evelyn Nunley was her great aunt. Wow. And I cannot read the signature on the bottom, but that's amazing. And this is Lexicon of Ladies' Names. So it has all these ladies' names on the inside. So like Amanda, it says to send away, prohibition. That's interesting. I send away with fleeting joys which earthly wealth cannot give, and all the honors of fame bestows, while I here on earth I live. I would not wish to pay my vows at fashion's lordly shrine, or amid thy circles of the proud, I would not wish to shine. I would not that my rich attire should dazzle every eye, or that its brilliancy excel the gaudy butterfly. These tempting joys true happiness I know can never bring. They're only shine to lead astray while time is on the wing. But there are pleasures which I prize and value more than gold. Though untempting they may be, their wealth is yet untold. So there are wonderful things in that. I wonder, I don't know if my name is in here or not. They're not, I don't think that they're alphabetized. Oh, well, they might be. Let me see if I can find. There's never usually a Katie. I can find an Anna. Let's see, page 18 for Anna. Let's see what this says here in this book. Anna. Anna, and Annie. So that's what's in this page. And it says, ah, sister dear, the same love flowers grow there yet. The pink, the rose, the manganese, with violets near. Oh, when thou art gone in lovely hours, I'll love guard those flowers, those favorite flowers to memory dear. Then it says, we know thou art benevolent, sweet Annie, by thy smile, which shows a heart that's true and good, not false and full of guile. There are some tremulous smiles, some treacherous smiles, Annie, which charm but not to beguile. We know that thine is true, Annie, but beware of the flatterer's smile. There art not one who gives, Annie. Oh, give thy heart to me, and with thy heart thy hand, Annie, then I'll be happy be. So this is fun. This is just a really beautiful book. And then this one is flowers, and the cover's coming off, but it's got Evelyn signed her name in it, and it's beautiful, lithographed pages on the inside. So there's Evelyn Nunley, and this has the poetry of flowers. And this has some really, really beautiful graphics in it, I think. Is this yeah, look at that. Look at this tulip. I mean, is that not just gorgeous? These are amazing. So I am thrilled to have these. And this one, let's see what's in here. Some of these poems are interesting. So she marked this one with a pencil, Bonds of Love. So let's see what this is. Thy honeysuckle sometimes attaches its plant branches to the knotted trunk of an ancestral oak. Amid the rugged branches of lordly tree, thy woodness mix in armless play, a breath there fragrant lives away. It was said that this feeble tree, thus shooting into the air, would overtop the king of forest, but as itself its efforts were travailing, as it soon recoiled, and with graceful negligence adorned the friendly supporter with an elegant feston perfumed garlands. Fragile but sweet is its lovely woodbine wild, clinging wherever its beauty may rest. Fair as the woodbine is trusting and mild, oh, be thine home upon love's fond breast. So those are really fun. They're just great. It's so insane, actually sad. So many middlemen to pay. Let's see what I'm missing. Just goes to show you the MU on those types of things. It's ridiculous. Oh yeah, the frame and lens costs on things are just crazy. It costs an insane amount, and it probably does not cost them that much to make a metal frame. I agree. The problem is that I grew up knowing 5 of the 9 of my great grandparents' kids and the grandparents. Mike was not around the great aunts and uncles and their kids. Yeah, I wish I had gotten to know some of my other family. I tried to get Mark to holster the curio cabinet to the wall just in case. Of course, he looked at me like I had 3 dinosaur heads. No, Kelly, there's nothing wrong with that. I've actually bolted a lot of stuff to the wall in the past because I'm afraid that it would fall on Louie. And I have this set. Let me see if I can turn the camera. Can you guys see? You can kind of see back here. I have this set of lockers. They're like metal red industrial lockers. And my dog, they're on like these really skinny metal legs. And I think that's because they were attached to one another. There's holes in the side. So probably they were in a school in a big bay of lockers. And you could have maybe 4 or 5 of them attached to the wall together so that they weren't going to fall down. But they have like these tiny little metal legs. And they're kind of bent, and I thought there is no way I'm putting this in my house without bolting it to the wall, because the last thing I need is this thing to just come crashing over in the night and hurt me or hurt Louie. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with bolting that stuff to the wall at all. Those 2 are breaking my heart with all the wear and the damage. Yeah, these are old, and this one has glue. So someone has tried, it wouldn't have been me, but someone tried to glue this back together. But these are beautiful. And I also have, these are her books from when she was a kid. So I have like a golden moth. These are all antique. Oh, I should have gotten this out. I forgot that I had this. I should have gotten this out for Christmas. This is Holiday Stories. This is Evelyn Nunley. Evelyn and Catherine. Now, I think Catherine must have been her sister. This was given to her in 1908. Look at that, you guys. You just don't see things like this anymore. So I'll read a little something from this. This is the Apple Boy. Through the meadows bright and gay, gathering the fruit today, comes a little fair-haired boy, full of happiness and joy, sunny face and eyes of blue, cheeks that mock the apple's hue, and most sweet the ringing cry, "Buy my rosy apples, buy!" Who so full of sun as he climbs and shakes the tree, and with his joy untold to him, fills his barrow to the brim. Then he shakes the tree again, laughing at the apple rain. And he cries with cheeks aglow, buy my apples, oh. Hear him say how good and wise is an apple when you rise. One before you go to bed makes the doctor beg his bread. And he tells you, once at noon, it's a blessing and a boon. Come, good people, taste and try, buy my apples, buy. The Apple Boy. And then you have like this wonderful little graphic on the inside. This is our party. Never was there such a party. Oh, the frolic and the fun. Games and conjuring and dancing. Such a treat for everyone. When the music started gaily, every boy found a partner. And each happy little couple soon were twirling round and round. Oh, the fun they had at supper. Such a chatter and a noise. Crackers popping mid the laughter, oh, the little girls and boys. Last of all, there came Sir Roger, and when it was time to go, there were lots of farewell kisses underneath the mistletoe, all tucked up in coats and wrappers, and when the last good night was said, home till little people trotted, soon they were fast asleep in bed. I love that. That is just so, so sweet, isn't it? Just so sweet. The best pair of glasses I've ever had were from WM. Wonder WN. I wonder about that. Yes, people think they are so fancy wearing the same stuff. I'm not much into designer, really anything, but I will say that if you get something that is good quality, it will last. And my experience with Ray-Ban glasses is I know that they're sort of a bigger designer name, but their quality is good. Their frames never bend. Their glass has the impact resistant, which I really need, and they fit well. Like, they're just great. So I will pay up a little bit for quality. Mark said in his tag-along English, "Baby, that is not the islands, not the hurricane here. Why would you want a cabinet bolted to the wall?" Well, if you had kids, it's good. Yep, that's advertising and selling at its finest, but so true. I'm missing some things in the chat. Those are stunning color plates. They really are, Nancy, aren't they? They're beautiful. Yes, Nancy. Oh, I read that. I missed some things. And that wording. Folks don't talk like that anymore. I know they don't. It's almost Shakespeare, iambic pentameter in a sense. Yeah, I know. Isn't that just amazing? Oh, yeah, Walmart. Yeah, Walmart. Yes, that's right. Walmart. I'll read a few more, and then I'm sure you guys don't want to hear all of the poems in here. This one is, let's see. Look at these. This is the Apple Boy. I mean, look. Oh, boy. Look at that, you guys. Is that not just absolutely amazing? And something fell out of this book, so I want to get it before Louie does. So let me set all of this down so that I don't lose the books. These are just so special. Okay, let me pick this up off the floor, and I'll set these photos back over here. And then I'll get this. These books are falling apart, so I have to be very careful because I don't want these little things to come out. So let's see. I'll read another something. This book is good. This book of poems here is really lovely. Okay, let's see. This is from Holiday Stories. I just love this. I don't know. I think it's lovely. Here is this one. Ava burned the book and covered it with leaves. Okay, but look at that graphic, though. I mean, man, they just don't have anything like this today. Let's see. Oh, here we go, Nancy. Here, this is for you. The snowman. Look at that. He is no Frosty. He is absolutely fabulous. Look at that. Okay, this is in honor of Nancy because she loves vintage snowman. So, that snowman. 'Twas winter time and cold as well. The snowman was on the ground, and Billy Braun all at once a bright idea found. Let's build a snowman big and tall, as big as one can be. Agreed, cried Dick, and Polly too, and Baby said, and me. And so they all set to get to work, cried Billy. How he grows! A pipe beneath his nose, and when Mama came to the door to call them in to tea, we've made a snowman fine, they cried, and Baby said, and me. But Daddy Brun 'twas dark, came home that night from town. As he crossed the garden path, he knocked the snowman down. Who did this? Daddy loudly cried. We did, explained the three. And Baby, who had gone to bed, said sleepily, and me. There's a little snowman poem. Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. That is just so, so sweet. Here's a lesson in sewing. And I think my computer might die, so I might want to go plug that in. I had, when you do these live chats, they do take a lot of the battery up. So you really ought to start with them plugged in. Because I had no idea how much battery you would lose doing a live chat, but you do a lot. So I'm going to get my charger and plug the phone in, plug the computer in, I mean, so that I don't lose you guys on the chat. So luckily there's a plug right here, and I can plug this in. Ooh. Okay. There we go. Sorry, you guys are getting a view that you probably don't want to see. Okay, and let me plug this in so that we're all good. Okay. Kendra Joe says, and how they used to read to these children, and the children were so attentive, just like radio. It was a big deal. Now kids need Xbox and Apple Watches. Yes, I know. We used to read so many books growing up, and people just don't do that as much anymore. This one is so cute, so I have to read it. This is a lesson in sewing. Hi, Book Bewitched. Welcome to the chat. I'm glad you found me. Yes, I love my aluminum tree. It came from Misty at Thrifter Junker Vintage Hunter. I was so glad to get that off of her sale. This one is a lesson in sewing. It says, a sweet little maiden was she, as busy and blithe as could be. Over needle and thread she was bending her head. She was trying to sew, you could see, but it puzzled her, that dear curly head. So mother came smiling and said, oh, my sweet, don't you know that you can never sew if you don't tie a knot in your thread? That seems like something I would do. Would be sitting there forever trying to do that. And it wouldn't work because I didn't do something simple like that. Justin, the brand was Sportax. Oh, that's the brand of glasses you got. Yes, so very true. Let's see what else is in this book. Oh, here's something about the lost skates. Are you guys enjoying this? I could read a few more of these. They're short. This is the lost skates. Oh, I'll go see if the ice is firm, said Robin to his little friend Marjorie one winter's morning. He went off carrying his skates, and when he reached the ice, he held them on the bank. And then he thought he would have a slide. Marjorie, who had followed Robin to the pond, caught up with the skates and went behind a tree and put them on. He was soon skating across the pond, and after a while she went to Robin, who was standing by the bank looking full of dismay. Why, Marjorie, he cried, I never saw you come. I've lost my skates. I left them on the bank, and they are gone. Some wicked person must have taken them, said Marjorie. I would like to catch him, said Robin. Then catch me, Robin, said Marjorie. Robin gazed at her, and a light broke over his face. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, there's more. That's why I was wondering. Then it goes on to say, oh, I see, he cried. You put them on while I was sliding. Well, now we can take turns with the skates. Marjorie thought as she gave Robin a hug that there was never a dearer friend than he. Oh, good. So the skates were not lost after all. But that's fun. So it teaches the kids to share, I guess, is the lesson of that. Thank you so much, Kelly. I will check them out. Oh, yes. Oh, good. Hi, Kindness. You love old books. Okay, good. Well, I will read a few more from this. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Let's see. Oh, this is nice. Look at this. Snowballing puppy. Aren't these graphics just absolutely fabulous? This one is, I don't like the snow. Although I'm a puppy small, I don't like the winter time at all. And when it's rolled into a ball, I don't like the snow. My little master thinks it's fun to snowball me. I've just had one, but though I barked and didn't run, I don't like the snow. It makes my feet all cold and wet, and though I excited I may get, like every dog you've ever met, I don't like the snow. I like a basket warm and snug. I like that friend, Jip the pug. There's a pug in here. Oh my gosh, Jip the pug. Besides the fire upon the rug, I don't like the snow. But still my master loves me so. I let him tease me, as you know, and bark as if I meant it, though I don't like the snow. And so we're all three happy quite. I bark, they laugh, and all is all right. But still I whisper to you tonight, I don't like the snow. Oh my goodness, there's a pug mentioned in a book from 1908. How cool is that, you guys? 27 people still in here. Well, good. People are enjoying this. Now 29 people. That is amazing. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so I'll read a few more of these. This is Jack Tar. This is interesting, Jack Tar, so we'll read this one. The day was warm. Tom fell asleep. You know what little kittens are. Said Tib to Tab, oh, here's a chance. He'll make fine Jack Tar. The tar was near, the deed was done, but ere the day had flown, those naughty kittens wept and wished they'd left the tar alone. Oh no, the cats got in the tar. Aw, that's neat. These are just neat. They're just so neat. Let's see what else is in here. Holiday series with color plates. Exactly what Nancy was just saying. 1907, copyrighted by the Eager Publishing Company. And here is Helping His Mistress. I love that dog. Oh my goodness, that is just amazing. Let me find that one. Okay, here's one. A Good Old Friend. Take the umbrella, Susie, Mother said, as Susie and her sister were sitting out to walk on their aunt's house. Susie pouted. It's so big and ugly, she said. Never mind, Mother told her. That umbrella has been a good old friend to me, and one should not mind an old friend's looks. So Susie took the umbrella, and very glad she was that she had done so, for when the little girls were leaving their aunt's house, they found the rain was falling fast, but under the good old friend, they were both kept dry all the way home. There's a lot of good life lessons in these little poems. This one is The Cousin Dick and I. When Mother told me that Cousin Dick was coming to live with us, I was so jealous that when no one was with me, I slipped out of the house and ran away. I was just feeling a little frightened when I met a nice little boy who stopped me and said, How do you do? Can you tell me the way to China, where my papa lives? I said, No, but I can tell you the way to my home, where Mama lives. He said he could not, but we walked along hand in hand, and I told him I was running away from my horrid boy cousin. Then he told me that he had brought in a train to go live across with a girl cousin, so he had run away from his nurse when she was looking after the luggage. Just when we met Mother, she said, Dora, where have you been? And someone who was with Mother said, Master Dick, you are a bad boy. Dick and I stared at each other, and then we began to laugh. It was so funny to think that we had been running away from each other, for the nice little boy was my cousin Dick. We went home to tea then, and I poured out. That was a year ago, and when we were only 4, of course, and now we are 5, and we should not be so silly. Oh my goodness, that is fun. That is really, really fun. I don't like the snow. That would be me. Right, Kelly? Darn cat. I know, cats get into everything. Yes, these books are from my family. These are from Evelyn Nunley. Evelyn and Catherine. Now, I think Catherine was her sister. These would have been my great-great-grandfather's cousin, Evelyn Nunley. These belong to, which is amazing. I know the art in these are just beautiful. They really, really are. Kendra says, I wonder if you could copy some of these. Okay, I think I came back. Book Bewitched. Katie, you should do a vivid reading of old books. Close my eyes and could see it. Oh, thank you, Book Bewitched. I'm glad you enjoy these. I've been doing a book reading series. I did a 1950s romance novel. I do vintage and antiques. That's my main content along with vinyl. But I also did a reading series where I read a 1950s saucy romance novel called Katie and Her Camera. So that was fun. And I've been doing a Christmas reading series. So that's great. Okay, here's another book, if you guys are interested in this. This is The Golden Staircase. Now, this has a stamp inside. This is for Evelyn Nunley for Christmas from Grandmother 1907. And there's a stamp in here from, you know what? I think this is from my grandmother went to Russia. I know, you guys let me know what you think that is, but this was just floating around in here, this stamp. But for Evelyn, I'm going to be very careful with these old books. For Evelyn, 1907, from Grandmother. Aren't these just lovely? Katie, who the hell needs a golden book collection when you have these? Oh, I think they are 10 times better, Kelly. I mean, the golden books are wonderful. My reading projects are on my channel, Book Bewitched. There is a playlist for Katie and her camera, and then you can see the Christmas reading series is on my channel as well, and I've read other Christmas books. I also did The Night Before Christmas with Misty at Thrifter Junker Vintage Hunter, Patrick from Trusty Huckster Mercantile, and Kelly from Milestone Story Vintage. We read that together, and I read The Grinch with Angela Marksberry. So I've been doing some book readings as well. This is The Golden Staircase. Now, I don't know if there are any... Oh, look at this, guys. There are some beautiful... I haven't seen these in a while. I mean, I've seen them every day because I see them every day because they're stacked up on my table, but I haven't opened them in a while, and I've forgotten just how lovely these pages are. My gosh. I mean, look at this. Isn't this just so sweet? I love sheep, so I just think that's amazing. This one is Bed in Summer. And it says, in winter, I get up at night and dress by yellow candlelight. In summer, quite the other way, I have to go to bed by day. I have to go to bed and see the birds still hopping on the tree, or hear the grown-up people's feet still going past me in the street. And why does it not seem hard to you when all the sky is clear and blue, and I should like so much to play to have to go to bed by day? Written by Robert Louis Stevenson. And then, oh, here's one, Dirty Jim. Let's find out about Dirty Jim. There was a little Jim, 'tis reported of him, and must he be lasting disgrace that he was never seen, with his hands at all clean, nor yet ever clean his face. His friends were much hurt to see so much dirt, and often they made him quiet clean. But all was in vain as he got dirty again, and not all fit to be seen. It gave him no pain to hear them complain, nor his own dirty clothes survive. His indolent mind no pleasure could find in tidy and wholesome array. The idle and bad, like his little lad, may love dirty ways to be sure, but good boys are seen to be decent and clean, although they are ever so poor. Jane Taylor. Hold that stamp back up. Okay, let me hold it back up. Here you go, Kelly. See if Mark knows anything about it. This was in the book. I don't know that. I mean, it looks Russian, I think. 1988, which would make sense because I think that's when they went. In the 80s. So this was in this book. How cool that you gave your skills, gave the clue. Oh yes, I'm so glad that you could go back and look for those. I would love some of those pictures. Are they copyright question? Would you be willing? Yes, I'd be willing to research that, Kendra. I don't know if they are copyright. I mean, I know that things with music, I know a little bit about copyright for music, and I know that if it's in the 50s, copyright didn't exist for music in the 50s, and a lot of times artists would share music back and forth with each other, and it was a big honor to do one person's song. So because for example, Pat Boone did a lot of music that was written by other artists like Fats Domino and so forth, and it was a big honor to do their version of somebody's song. And then in 1970, I believe, is when copyright came around. So if you have things that are after 1970, they are copywritten, and they can be copywritten up to 70 years after the artist's death. But with the songs from the 1950s, like Happy Birthday, I just heard the other day, I think is copywritten, because people are now going back and buying the rights to these old songs. So I know that I looked into the song, and it's now on a TV commercial It's written by Shirley and Lee. Let the Good Times Roll. I don't know. I think they were the first person to write that, but that is now copywritten, although it was written early, a long time ago. So I don't know. Copyright law is kind of confusing, but I would love to research that for you, Kendra. I think it would be fun. Oh, you got it. Okay, good. Well, ask Mark about it. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate that. Let's see what other, oh my gosh, look at these. Look at this little kid and their farm animals. So he's got a farm. You've got a chicken, a camel, an elephant, a toy soldier. Wow. That is very cool. Selected poems for children. So let's see. Okay, here's one for Valentine's Day. It says, oh, I wish I were a tiny brown bird from out of the south, settled among the outer holts, twittering by the stream. I would put my tiny tail down and put up my tiny mouth and sing my tiny life away in one melodious stream. And I would sing about the blossoms and the sunshine and the sky and the tiny wife I mean to have in such a cozy nest. And if someone came and shot me dead, why, I could but die, with my tiny life and tiny song just ended at their best. Well, that's a little dark, I gotta say. The poor bird is dying here, but apparently he gave his best life singing. I don't know. That one's a little interesting. Yes, I go walking to New Orleans. I can't sing to save my life, but that is the one. Yes, Fats Domino. I was walking to New Orleans. I believe Pat Boone did a version of that. Have you heard about the new laws passing in Congress? You really have to be careful with songs now. Yes, Justin, I've been hearing about that. You do have to be very, very careful. Hi, T. Ruth. Happy Christmas to you. What a wonderful art piece that would be. It really would be. Yes, well, in my intro to all of my videos, and right now, my intros are different because it's Christmas. I'm using copyright-free Christmas music, and I'm trying to get that light from above my head to disappear because I know that's annoying. I've been using copyright-free Christmas music. Now, with my normal intros, I use 10 seconds of Chuck Berry. Now, at one time, I accidentally used 11 seconds by mistake, and YouTube was right on me. They sent me a message saying this video has gotten a copyright strike. Now, there's a difference with YouTube. If you get like basically like a strike, I think is a warning. But then if you get something else, that means that like they can take your channel down. And when I got it, I was panicked because I'm like, oh no, I don't want my channel to go away. But I was able to apparently just mute that part of the video. And then they were able to continue and leave the video up. But I'm very careful with that now. So I make sure that I have exactly 10 seconds of Chuck Berry in my intro so they don't take it away. But I don't know technically, I guess you're not supposed to do that either. But I think legally, though, you can use up to 10 seconds of it, I think. I'm not sure. I got to do more research on this. Justin saying, Kelly, so many of these songs are owned by a huge few companies and they all want the money. That's true. A lot of these 50s songs are getting all bought up by these large companies. I know I used to post, before I had a YouTube channel, I would post vinyl videos on my Facebook page of just, small clips of what I was spinning on my turntable, which I do for you guys now on Instagram. But Facebook would constantly say that Sony Music owns this song from like 1945. And I was like, what in the world? But it's true. A lot of these bigger companies are buying up these old songs. And I had posted a 30-second clip of something from not the Andrews Sisters. It was from the Chordettes. And man, Facebook did not like that. It was like, nope, that's got to come down. And I tried to fight them on it because I'm like, I'm not making any money off of this. This is just my personal life on Facebook. The video clearly isn't high production quality or anything, but they still made me take it down. So do you think they will come out with a license that everyone has to purchase? Possibly. I guess, yeah, I don't know. I've heard some people say it's 10 seconds. Some people say you can play up to 20 seconds. I'm not exactly sure. Now on Instagram, if I play about a minute of something, it doesn't like it. But if I play about 30 seconds worth of any vinyl that I have, it usually lets me get away with it. So I try to post all of my vinyl spins on Instagram. So I will show you, like in my Friday videos, when I do all of my Friday vinyl videos of what's spinning, I'll hold up an album, I'll tell you about it, and then I'll tell you, go over to my Instagram, because then I will be able to spin a little bit of it. But a lot of people have been asking me, well, I'd love for you to play the vinyl on YouTube, and unfortunately I can't do that because I don't want to get, taken away. Possibly, Kelly, and they are going to make it cheap to cater towards the networks. Yeah, they're not going to make it cheap. Yeah, probably not, Justin. It's probably going to be pretty expensive, and the networks can pay, large amounts of money for that kind of thing. Anything for $1. Yep, I know, that's right. Anything for $1 sometimes. And, I'd like to learn a little bit more about copyright, because it would really help me with the vinyl content, because I'd like to be able to play some of these things for you guys. Man, this light above my head in the kitchen, because if I turn it off, I'm all dark. And if I'm just fighting with the light here. I usually sit in front of my Coke wall, and my lighting is very good there. But I wanted to sit in front of the Christmas tree because it is Christmas time, and I know a lot of you guys like to see the aluminum tree, so that's what I'm doing. I know, art, I'm a big supporter of the arts. I really am. And sometimes we are the last community that gets thought about sometimes as, oh, it's just the arts, but I am a huge supporter of the arts. I need to take a drink here, guys. I don't want all of this to go non-fizzy, to get flat. Okay, let's see. I can show you a few more of the pages in this book. This one is A Golden Month by Robert Louis Feverton. And this is, again, a children's book. Here's the inside cover. Oh, Jeffrey would like this at Real Nifty Vintage because it has all of the ivy on the inside, which is really neat. This is beautiful. The inside of this is absolutely gorgeous. And this was copyrighted, oh, it doesn't say, but it's the Hayes Lithographing Company out of Buffalo, New York. But look at this, you guys. The pages are absolutely gorgeous. It says, 4th day, sing a song of seasons, something bright in all, flowers in summer, fires in fall, autumn fires and autumn leaves. 5th day, purge out of every heart the lurking of grudge. 6th day, keep your heart up and you'll do. 7th day, the world is so full of a number of things, I'm sure we would all be as happy as kings. So that's your happy thought, apparently, for the day from the 1900s. And then it goes on. So you've got like 11th day is, oh, long as we love to serve, so as long as we are loved by others, I would almost say we are indispensable. And no man is useless while he has his friend. 12th day, offenders give us the grace to accept and to forgive other offenders. 13th day, if I could find a higher tree, farther and farther I could see. And then you have, I think these are small prayers, is what I think they are. But look at this. I mean, these are just absolutely gorgeous on the inside. Bless us if we may be in all our innocent endeavors. These are prayers. The morning prayer is, give us all the blithe. Wait a minute, I did not say that right. Give us all to go blithely on our business all this day. Give us the strength to encounter that which is to come, that we may be brave in peril and constant in tribulation. So these are interesting, definitely 1900 sounding, and we don't speak like this now, but I think it's very interesting to read these, and they're just lovely little poems. Let's see what else is in here. One person I have to make good, that is myself. Spare us to our friends and soften us to our enemies. Above the hills, along the blue, round the bright air with footing true, to please the child, to paint the rose, the gardener of the world he goes. Look at that sweet little church in here. These graphics are just beautiful. Taylor Swift is a boss when it comes to her songs, and she re-recording all of her albums. Katie, you're making me want to go to the Yucatan. I am, Kelly? That's great. Katie, you should do a fall asleep series with your reading. Some of those videos would blow up on YouTube because so many people have a hard time sleeping. Maybe I should do like a late night sleep video where I read something. Maybe you guys could let me know what you'd want me to read. I'd be glad to read anything out of these books. This holiday book, I think, is really, really lovely. I just love this. It is absolutely so precious, and the fact that it has a pug. I'll read this one, and then I'll stop reading some of these. This is after the holidays. Hark, hark, the dogs do bark. The children have come back to town. Wee men and wee maids with buckets and spades, and don't they look merry and brown? For some have been in the meadows green, and some have been down to the sea. They've come home again by cab and by train, as happy as can be. And here's the little graphic on the inside. This is the holiday stories. This is the one from 1908. 1908. There's one in that I saw here about I don't know which one it was. It might have been in the Golden Staircase book. There was one about a cat that looked interesting. I just am kind of enjoying going through these. I think they're fun. Let's see. Something about Rover. Bob and the cat's tea party. Okay, let's see. Kelly said, Justin, that's exactly what I was telling my mom. I didn't want to offend Katie, but I have a hard time sleeping, and Katie does the trick. Oh, Kelly, you would never offend me. And I have trouble sleeping myself, so I totally understand how that is. And it is nice. I like to have the TV on when I'm going to bed because I need something in the background. So no, I totally understand. Here is one. I'll read one more. I'm just kind of, it's addicting. You want to see what's in here, right? So here is the cat's tea party. This just looked interesting by the title. I don't know what these are as I'm reading them. So here we go. 5 little pussy cats invited out to tea cried, Mother, let's go. Oh, do, for good will surely be. We'll wear our bibs and hold our things as you have shown us how. Spoons in right paws, cups in left, and make us a pretty bow. We'll always say, yes, if you please, and only half of that. Then go, my darling children, said the happy mother cat. The 5 little pussy cats went out that night to tea. Their heads were smooth and glossy, and their tails were swinging free. They held their things as they had learned and tried to be polite. With snowy bibs beneath their chins, they were a pretty sight. But alas for manners beautiful and coats as soft as silk. The moment that the little kits were asked to take some milk, they dropped their spoons, forgot to bow, and oh, what do you think? They put their noses in the cups and all began to drink. Yes, every naughty little kit set up their menu more, then knocked their teacups over and scampered through the door. Oh my gosh, I love that. That's so fun. Oh man, imagine that. I can just picture that in my head, right? The little cats being all prim and proper, and then the little milk comes out and they just lose all control. I listen to sleep meditation every night. I understand. Yeah, Auntie Kay, that sleep meditation can help. The TV don't sound like you though, Katie. That's true. TV is very different. I'm glad that I have a sound that people like. You know, I never really thought about that, but I'm glad that people are enjoying my voice. I say it puts me to sleep, but I stay up. It's soothing to watch and listen. Oh, that just makes me feel so happy. Thank you guys. You guys like the cat one. Yeah, I think the cat one's really cute. That is just adorable. And of course, you know, I like the pug one too. These are just so neat. They're great little poems. I just think they're absolutely lovely. I mean, they're so great. So I will read more of these because I think you guys have been enjoying that, and they're fun to read. I have not gotten a chance to actually reread them since I first got these books. So it's kind of been fun for me. I forgot there was a pug in one of them. I think that one, the pug one, was in the holiday stories. But so cool to have something from 1908. And I'm going to set them here so that nothing happens to them. I'm going to reach over and I'm going to grab the last book in the stack. And this book is not particularly, whoa boy, I'm dropping it on the floor. Don't worry, guys, it's not an antique book. I'm sorry you're seeing a weird angled here for a second, but I'm going to put these so that they don't get damaged. This book that just fell on the floor is an official guide to the New York's World's Fair in 1960. Now, this was my grandmother's, and I guess they took my mom to the World's Fair. My mom was born in 1960, but this is why I wanted the book, was because there's a really cool Coca-Cola ad on the back. Things go better with Coke, and you've got the World's Fair. And what's neat is on the inside, it's chocked full of advertisements. So you have like the TWA advertisement, and you have the map. And you can see my grandmother, if this is the page. Yeah, see, you can see my grandmother was very good at planning and traveling. So you can see here that she circled all the things they wanted to see. It's on Audible. Yeah, I love Audible. I have the TV at night, but I often have Audible on too because I like Audible. Yes, Louie is being very good. She's totally conked out on the couch over there. You have a unique old soul voice. Oh, thank you, Auntie Kay. It's kind of a compliment. I think it's so wonderful. I hope that maybe I sound like an old radio because I really like that sound. So some of the things that my grandmother had circled is she wanted to see some exhibit called the Vatican. She wanted to see the General Motors exhibit, the Ford exhibit, the RCA exhibit, the General Electric exhibit. Now, those are probably all things more so that my grandfather wanted to see because he was the electrical engineer. Then the Pan American Highway Gardens, Dancing Waters, and the World's Fair Marina were just some of the things that she wanted to go visit at the World's Fair. Now, there are other advertisements in here, which I just think are absolutely fantastic. Here's entertainment for everybody. Movie fans, linguistics, homemakers, children, and everybody who wears shoes. Which is pretty much everybody. But look at the cool little graphics on the inside. I mean, it's amazing that grandma kept this all these years. Oh, look, here's the Kodak. This is the Kodak picture tower from 1960. Look at that. Isn't that cool? I just love this kind of stuff. I love ephemera. I love ephemera. Oh, here's some cheese. Welcome to the World's Fair. Look at all this food. Oh, my goodness. Doesn't that look good? I want whatever this cheese is. I just want to take a big old bite out of that because that looks pretty darn good. This is for A&P supermarkets. Are A&P supermarkets even around? I know I hear people talking about A&P. Oh, good, Kelly. I'm glad that I have that voice. That's wonderful. That makes me feel so happy. This is for Hennessy whiskey. That's really a cool graphic. That is a pretty cool graphic. Holy moly. Okay, now I got to send this to Fatbird Finds because Mary Beth likes the dinosaurs. Look at this. Holy cow, that is amazing. Prehistoric monsters such as this Brontosaurus in the Sinclair Pavilion are only part of the fairs. Look at the dawn of life at the Ford Pavilion. So that was what the Ford Pavilion had. And it says that the pterodactyls fly, they're life-size, and you can find them at the Traveler's Insurance Discovery thing at the Ford Pavilion. Well, that's pretty cool. Look at that. That must have been really big. I bet it's like animatronics. That must have been huge. Louis is on the sofa. I love these Ralph Lauren blankets that you can get from Home Goods. They're like really soft. They're the softest blankets I've ever found. And you can find them at Home Goods. They're made by Ralph Lauren and they're super well made. I think TJ Maxx has them too, but I have one in red and navy blue, and Louie is curled up on the navy blue one, and that is kind of her blanket, and she's also got her head. I wish I could show you on the pillow. Like, she has totally made herself very, very cozy. Oh man, I didn't know Hennessy has been around that amount of time. Apparently it has been, Kelly. There's another ad for it too that I just saw. Where'd it go? No, this one is Calvert. Calvert whiskey has been around also apparently for that amount of time. Let's see. Oh, this guy's kind of strange looking. Collector's item. It's something for Kahlua. Kahlua liquor. But isn't he a little something? That's a little frightening, I must say. Dear me. I don't know that I want to wake up to him. You also have the Norcello, I don't know if I'm saying this right, electric diorama. That must have been fun. Free for you and your entire family. See the exhibits of the world's famous Norcello electric products for work and for play, at home or away. Shavers, it's that shaver brand, and no, I can't ever pronounce it. Shavers, tape recorders, radios, and distinguishing equipment, hearing aids, and household appliance. Norco, I don't know. You guys know how to say it better than I do. I know the brand, but I just don't know. It's still around, I think. Kelly, it says Hennessy was founded, in 1765? I had no idea they were around that long. I use YouTube guided fantasies, relaxation, and white sound for sleep assistance. Yes, and if you have a Google, which I have a little Google Home, you can tell it to play rain noises, and it will play rain noises or city noises. And one of my favorite things when I was in New York is they don't have, in the winter, they don't have air conditioning. They have, in New York, a lot of the hotels basically, they don't do air conditioning at certain times of the year. And in the winter, they don't. So what they were telling you to do is to open the windows if you got hot. So I had the windows open at night, and it was so relaxing to hear the sounds of the city, like the taxi cabs going by. Just the whole New York City sound was just absolutely amazing. Oh my gosh, I love deviled eggs. Leftover collards, cornbread, and deviled eggs. Oh, Kelly, you're killing me. That sounds so good. I love collard greens and cornbread and deviled eggs. Oh, I love all food. I definitely live to eat, not eat to live. Here's an ad for shoes. The guided shoe step, or the guide step shoe, out of New York City. I mean, the graphics in this is just fabulous. Really, really fantastic. Here's an ad for, what is this? These 3 tests proves the first national city traveler's check are better than money. Look at that. There's London in the background. How cool is that? Absolutely stunning. What else is in here? Ooh, this reminds me of the offer-ups. The offer-ups were off to the horse races. Oh, that's really fun. This is an ad for thoroughbred races. Just a few minutes from the World's Fair. Then there's an ad for, let's see what else is in here. That's fun. We saw the food. Oh, here's for the Rambler car. Rambler car, American Classic. Look at that. That's cool. I love that color. Night, Nancy. I love salmon. I need to head to bed, though. I'm sitting here falling asleep. No worries, Nancy. No, but that sounds delicious. Is somebody having salmon? You think Sinclair was a media company? I think Sinclair was a media company. I'm pretty sure, Kelly. I think you're right on that. Sometimes I listen to YouTube of the ocean waves and raindrops to put me to sleep. Yeah, I like white noise. So I have the fan going on. I have a tower fan in my room. I turn that on. I turn the TV on low volume. And then sometimes I will also ask the Google to play rain, like rain sounds. I don't know. I just like sound. Cold salmon you get for like $5 and put a little on each. You know, my grandmother for Christmas got me the salmon, their smoked salmon in a can. She orders it all the way from Alaska, from Fairbanks, Alaska, and it is absolutely delicious. And we've had them every year since I was a young kid. And you get a can of salmon, and then you put cream cheese on it, and you can set it, spread it on crackers. So you set it in a bowl, and then you just spread it on crackers, and it is delicious. You have one of the katydids to listen to and another sound with lake waves. Yes, I like the sound. I like the sound of city. I like the sound of woods. I love the sound of crickets at night. Oh, look at this. This is Accutron, and this is Accutron by Bulova. Look at this graphic. Now, see, I like mechanical things like this. So I am living for this graphic right here with the inner workings of that watch. That is pretty cool. I love that. Look, in this one, they make electric self-wind and wind up. Wow. So this is pretty cool. So this self-wind watch, I have several of these. This has a rotor in the bottom. See that half moon looking thing there? That is a rotor. And a rotor, what it does is it's weighted. And you see this here? This is the main spring in the watch. And then up top is the balance wheel. So the rotor is what's heavy. And as you're wearing the watch, it moves that rotor around and around, which turns the mainspring, which is the spring that has all the power in it. So it winds up, and then it slowly releases that power to the balance wheel. And that's where you'll see that little thing go back and forth like this in a watch that's automatic. And that's releasing the power to the balance wheel, which is moving and making the watch work. So that is how automatic watches work. This one, though, you have to wind up so it doesn't have a rotor in it to keep it round as you're wearing it. So this one you would have wind up. That's really cool to see. Now this one's electric, so it takes a battery. But if you were wondering, that is how automatic watches work. Katie, show me what the book is before I go. Oh yes, this is the official guide to the New York World's Fair in 1960. That's what the book is. Yeah, I love that watch too. And I do agree. Where'd it go? Cream cheese and salmon is good on a bagel. I love my bagel and lox, and I always put a whole bunch of capers on it. I love capers. I'm going to get me some and put it on the deviled eggs we will have for New Year's meal. You know what I always do for New Year's is because you're supposed to have beans. I think it's good luck. So I always do lima beans, collard greens, and then I make what are they called? Short ribs in the oven and cornbread. That is my New Year's meal. You all know what I would give if I had my Swatch watch. I did get rid of much, but some of the things you do and you regret later. Kelly, I know I love Swatch. Actually, I collect Swatch watches. If you don't know, that's another one of the many vintage things I collect. And I have a big collection of vintage Swatch watches from the 80s that I just adore. So I did a video on that, and I'll have to do a part 2 and show the rest of my collection. I'm a little bit of a watch nerd. I like my watches, and I'm not wearing one today because the watch that I normally wear when I'm out in the shop is my Apple Watch, so that I can respond to things I need to without getting my hands all grimy on my phone. And then I've got my Swatch watches, which I also love wearing, but I didn't put one on today. I knew it. I just saw a glimpse of the cover and thought that's what it was. You have that book. That is very cool, Nancy. Yes, I was in my grandparents' basement, and my mom and I were cleaning out things, and my mom was just throwing things that she wasn't interested in a pile. We were going through a lot of paper, and my mom's like, oh, we don't need this. And I was, all I saw was the Coke ad on the back. So I was like, wait a minute. Don't throw that away. And I ran over there because of the Coke ad. My mom's like, oh yeah, there's a Coke ad. You'll probably really want that. And so I kept it for the Coke ad. And then I started looking through it, and I'm like, my gosh, these graphics are fabulous. And I love this. So no, I will never get rid of this. This is fantastic because of the Coke ad, but also because of these really cool advertisements on the inside. Yes, you need to see my Swatch watches. I did a video on my Swatch watch collection, and it is on my channel. So that was a while ago, but I have a playlist entitled Swatches, and I will be doing a video on my second part 2 of that. Now, I have a lot of modern swatches that I have collected recently, and also ones from the 80s. So in the first video, I show all of my vintage swatches, and then the second video, I will be doing more of some of the more modern ones I have. But I love Swatch. Yep, I do. Kelly, one time my mom snapped and threw all my, no, oh no, Justin, that's awful. My mom's been really great. She and my dad both have always called and asked before they threw something away, like, do you still want this? And if I do, they've saved it, which I feel really lucky about. So I went through and cleaned out a lot of things that I didn't want anymore. And now, I have the things that just mean a lot. Lima beans are my idea of food that should not have been tried or eaten. Book Bewitched, I know a lot of people say, well, they don't taste good. You have to stew them down. So I take lima beans and I put them probably in way more butter than I should, but I put a lot of butter in them. And I render some bacon fat down with bacon. And I put that in the lima beans, and I let them stew with the collard greens, not in with the collard greens, but the same amount of time. And so that will stew New Year's Day on my stove for probably 4 hours on low. I just let them stew, and I let all of that bacon get in there. I let all that butter get in there, and boy, they are really tasty when you do it that way. Yeah, I love that. So this is fun. This is a great guidebook. There's an advertisement for film. Look at this, Ansco Film. How cool is that? Now that's cool. They don't make rolls of film anymore like that. Everything is so digital. What else is in here? Oh, here's Elsie the cow from Borden Milk Company. They've been around forever. That's kind of fun, Elsie the cow. And I mean, this is chocked full. Oh, here's some vintage. I think I just saw, yes, Matsushita Electric Company, the world's most beautiful stereo. So for all of my vintage audio people out there, that's pretty cool. And this is just great, too, if you find one of these, because it will help you date things. If you're looking for, like, this is futuristic. This is Ford. Walt Disney's Magic Skyway. But look at that. That is just cool. I'll help you date things when you find these old books. Katie, I the comment. Okay, there we go. Uh, yes, I'm sure we are because we like so many of the same things. I'm heading to bed now. Have fun, guys. I will be on Thursday, yes, at 11 p.m. for a chat on New Year's Eve. I was just way too wiped. Don't worry about it, Nancy, at this overstuffed house. No worries. You get some rest now. And yeah, Kelly, it's sad. Oh, yeah, Justin, I'm so sorry. That's awful. Well, listen, guys, let's see what time it is here. It is 4 in the morning here, so I have got to get going and get some sleep. I've been on for almost 2 hours, but don't forget that I will be doing a live chat every day up until New Year's Eve. So I will be joining you all every night. There will be more chats with me. We will continue to ring in the new year, and I think that someone had mentioned, what was it that I was going to spin into 2021? I think that was the phrase that we decided to go with. So I'm excited about that. So I will be doing a spin into 2021, and we will be doing chats every night, and it will be so much fun to do. Oh, hi and bye, Melanie. Yes, bedtime for sure, Jen. I'm glad that this helps you guys sleep and you enjoy my voice. That's all just wonderful things. So I'll be doing more chats. So stay tuned for that. I don't know what time yet because I want to make sure that I'm not cutting anybody off that's doing a sale. And I think Monday I will be having my regular chat at 6:30. So Monday, look for me at 6:30. I'll be having my regular chat, and I'm reading the last book in my Christmas reading series, If You Take a Mouse to the Movies, Christmas edition. So that's going to be fun. I'll be doing that Monday. And then Sunday, tomorrow, I'll be having a chat. But I think Mimi at Cindy's Treasure Cottage, no, let me get that right. Cindy at Mimi's Treasure Cottage is having a sale at 6. And I think after her is Thrift U. So after Thrift U, at some point, I will be doing a live chat tomorrow. I will schedule that. And yes, we'll be doing some music trivia. That will be so fun. So yes, eat your heart out, Dick Clark. That's right. So I will be doing some music trivia. We could do that tomorrow if you guys would like. I think I can play 10 seconds of any song without getting into trouble. So I think that would be fun. So we could do some music trivia tomorrow night after Thrift Use chat and live sale. So that will be, I'm in Eastern Standard Time. So we will be doing that, of course, tomorrow. Monday will be my book reading. Wednesday, I have my normal live chat at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is my kind of time slot. Now, Tuesday, I don't know. I might be able to work out. I don't know if Stephanie at Thrifting Adventures is having her normal sale at 8 o'clock. Her dad is very ill in the hospital. So if you guys would please take a moment and keep Stephanie at Thrifting Adventures in your prayers. She really could use all of our prayers and well wishes and thoughts. So she is probably busy with that. I don't know that she's doing any more sales for the rest of the year. So I might be able to fill in that time slot there on Tuesday. Also, please make sure that you guys are praying for Kelly at Found Again. Kelly at Found Again had a brain aneurysm and a stroke. She is the one that makes those fabulous earrings that a lot of the ladies have been wearing on the different sales. So please pray for her. She's in rehab. The last I heard, she finally got out of the ICU. Thank the Lord. But we still need to pray for her and keep her in our thoughts. So Kelly at Found Again. Also, Rachel, continue to keep Rachel at Superior Girl Vintage in your prayers. She just had surgery, and her dad has been pretty ill this year as well. So all of those people we can use and keep in our prayers. So just keep those people in your thoughts and prayers as you're going about your week this week. And I will see if she is not having a sale. I will try to fill in on that time slot on Tuesday. Thursday is Patrick's sale at 8 o'clock. And then before Patrick is Cindy's thrifting again at 6 o'clock. So it will probably be after. Well, now see, Nancy, well, Thursday, let's see, is that New Year's Eve? I don't know. I will schedule the chat so you guys get notifications, and I'll post them on Instagram. My days with the quarantine and everything are all just messed up, so I can't pull all of this out of my hat. But there is a schedule floating around on Instagram. Angela Marksberry is the one that does the calendar, at Angela Marksberry on Instagram. So if you are confused about what's happening this week, which I know with the schedule changes, my mind has sort of been, whoa, because I'm used to everybody at a certain time. So I'm having trouble remembering what I need to tell you guys to go watch. But you can look for that calendar. I'll try to link it down below for you once this video posts. And also Trisha at Sandionato, who just had that sale before me, she does like a virtual calendar thing too. So you can look for all of that. Louis is pad trained because we have so many storms here in Florida. It rains a lot. Louis does not like the rain. She will get scared and she'll run back inside. She does not like the wind either. She'll crouch down and then I have to carry her all the way back home when I take her on walks and it gets really windy. So what I've done is, because of all the hurricanes and storms here, I've pad trained her. So whenever she has to go to the bathroom, she can just go on the pad, and she's very religious about going on the pad. I've never had an accident with her. She always goes on the pad over by the door, and I just, every day when I go to bed, I just throw it in the wash, and she has a fresh one every day. So it works out really well. They're rewashable, like puppy pads. My dog is litter trained also because of the cold here. Yeah, I think that just works out really well, Justin. I know that my aunt started doing it with her dogs because she was gone all day. And I just thought that it would be a good thing for Louis, you know, especially with all the storms here for that. So yes, please keep everybody in our community in your prayers. Absolutely. And please, I don't ask for this very often because I hate begging people to thumbs up, but I'm going to pull a Jeffrey here. Please thumbs up the video, make the thumb blue. Isn't that what Jeffrey always says? He says, let's put our thumbs together and make that thumb blue instead of gray. That's what I think Jeffrey always says. So yes, so I will be continuing the chats every night up until New Year's Eve, whenever that is. My brain is going down. It's like, okay, I need to get some rest now. And make sure you continue for tomorrow to look at all the fun things happening on YouTube. Cindy at Mimi's Treasure Cottage is having a sale at 6 o'clock. Thrift U is having a sale later on in the day. And there's a lot. Sandra, the Pink Elephant Parlor, also has a sale, and she is phenomenal. I don't know if Reclaimed Treasures by Mary is having a sale, but she might be having a sale as well. So check the times on that. I know with the holiday, people have been canceling and moving things, so that's why I'm not exactly sure what's all going on, but check for that. And I love you all so very much. Thank you guys for being in the chat with me tonight. It has been so much fun. I know it was rather late, but 22 of you are still watching me at 4 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. So that is just crazy cool to me. Thank you guys so much for hanging around with me. And I can't wait to do more fun music trivia, other trivia, and fun videos for you here in the upcoming year. Much love to you all. And as always, I hope that you will stay in, stay safe, and binge YouTube. Bye-bye now.